And good afternoon. I guess still afternoon, right? And
Absolutely,
welcome to
everybody.
Vendetta Stadium. Bob Brown, Jay Moran, as we pick up the second game of our doubleheader here today. Class B semifinal between the unbeaten Batavia Blue Devils, come in at 6 wins and no losses, and the Newark Reds, who are the number 3 seed and come in with a record of 3 wins, 3 losses. Again, Bob Brown and Jay Moran with nice some sunshine here this afternoon. Breezy conditions. We'll have to see. All of a sudden the wind has kicked up quite a bit, how that may affect the passing game in today's game. But a matchup of a couple of teams, Class B. They met in week 4 in Lyons, actually. In Lyons, New York, they played the game on a neutral field. Batavia did win that game 28-20. That was kind of before the breakout of the star running back here that we're going to be calling quite a bit. Trevante Murray, 379-yard game last week in their win over Wayne. He might be a handle for the Blue Devils today.
That'll get your attention more when you were getting ready for the scout. That guy runs for almost 400 yards. So that's something they've got to keep in mind. And just, looking at the pregame language on the field, this looks like a real confident Newark team. I mean, they're loose. You could tell they're excited about playing football today here on Batavia's home field. I expect a nice ball game here today.
And they have won their last couple of games. They came in, again, they lost to Batavia 28-20 in week 4. They fell to 1-3. Since then, wins over Bishop Kearney 24-14. And again, they blasted Wayne 48-27. Beside that, last week, beside that 379-yard performance by Murray, 6 touchdown runs for him in that game. However, Batavia can counter that with a great back of their own, and that is Therese Smith, who has run for over 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns on the season. So Batavia has a back that Newark has to be wary of.
Yeah, and I think overall, just an overall offensive approach that you have to be aware of as well. The wind might negate the passing game a little bit, but I got to see Smith in week 1 against Kearney, and he really impressed me with how disciplined he was running behind his blocks. He took some big hits in that game. You remember he had 5 or 6 plays where he lost 6-7 yards on the play because the blitzing defense of Kearney. He really took some pounding in that game, but kept going and eventually wore them down. And of course, Batavia ended up winning that game. So yeah, he really impressed me with the way he approached game 1, and obviously he's just grown on it. And I think another part of this too, Bob, and we talked about this when we were on the air in the first week. How are these coaching staffs and teams going to adapt to this weird schedule where you're starting practice? You didn't get any August, 7-on-7s and that kind of thing for the summer. You may not have had a weightlifting program. So as we've been going on here, everybody's kind of learning on the fly, and it looks like Newark is starting to get their game together, but Batavia is playing very well also.
And that's one thing Coach Briggs said, that they didn't give Trevante Murray a lot of touches in that first game. He has been their go-to back the last 3 games, and you can see what it's got them last couple of games. Again, coming off the performance we talked about, certainly something to look forward to. Batavia also a dual weapon offensively. Jesse Reinhardt has really done a nice job. Got a little taste at the quarterback position last year, late in his sophomore season, with a lot of injuries to the Batavia's team in that 2019 season, so he was able to come in there and play, and he stepped right into that starting role. He's thrown for over 800 yards and 13 touchdowns this year.
I think if you're going to be the Batavia quarterback, you got to be really locked in with the coach. I mean, they ask a lot of these kids up at the line of scrimmage. Unlike really many programs that I've seen at the high school level, almost kind of like a college approach to going no huddle a lot. And it's up to the quarterback to make sure everything's working well. Reinhardt obviously has done that. The record of the team shows it.
7 touchdown receptions for Alex Hale, his favorite receiver. So we'll get a little bit more as we carry on our pregame show. If you're planning, we're still about 8-10 minutes away from the start of this game. We'll take our first timeout, a 3-minute timeout, and more of our pregame show brought to you by Ken Barrett Chevrolet Cadillac on West Main Street in Batavia. More of our pregame show coming up in a few minutes on WBTA.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
We want to thank everyone for doing their part in these challenging times.
No matter where we work from, we're still here protecting you and your family's rights.
We want you to know that we will always be here for you and your family.
using our technology so we can protect you and your family no matter where we are.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.
Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
Goes McCarthy. He's got. Oh, he's in. Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
One seed and Palmac, team that we saw last week that Batavia beat 48-7 in the final regular season game. That game is also about to start, a 6 o'clock start, starting both at the same time. We know that Alexander, congratulations to the Trojans, heading to the championship game. No stranger there under Tim Sawyer the last few years, and they'll take on the Avon Braves, I think, who are winners over Canisteo Greenwood today in a game next weekend, next Saturday, I believe. So,
yeah, I think for Alexander, maybe the 6th appearance in the title game in 8 years, perhaps.
Very nice,
and
yeah.
They won 2 of them, yeah.
And winning it on field goals, 3 field goals, I guess, today, right? A 9-7 win over OAE. So a big win for the Trojans. Batavia coming out and celebrating on the B at midfield here in their black uniforms, and we've talked about these this year. Not too bad now picking out the numbers. Again, black pants, black jerseys, and then royal blue numbers with a very thin, I don't know if it's like a gray outline, but it's very difficult to see. And I know we've been kind of harping on that all year. And again, I kind of said this last week, Jay, I think part of our job is in calling a game is to get names out there, especially in high school. You want to get, your son or daughter or whoever, making the play. That's what I try and do is call some names. And they've made it kind of difficult for us this year. I mean, there was a young man, I think it ended up being either Danny Sava or Caden Marucci last week, a couple of sacks right in a row, and just couldn't really tell who it was. But he made 2 or 3 great plays right in a row, getting in, pressuring the quarterback, and making sacks. And we were even trying to follow the young men to the sidelines to see, all right, I've got my eyes trained on him. When it turns around, hopefully I can catch that number. So
yeah, I spent about 10 minutes before the game down field side, maybe 30 yards, maybe less than that away from the players, and I was just trying to differentiate numbers, and it's nearly impossible to do.
Yeah, it's very tough. So we'll manage, though. Again, you have to look for other, it's my, third time seeing Batavia. Some other things, socks, shoes, things like that. You've got to.
Where they are in the field.
Got to pick out
like that,
exactly right. So as we wind this one, we're going to take our second break here shortly, and then while they do the national anthem and the rest of the pregame activities. And when we return, we should be ready to go. So why don't we do that now? We'll take that final break. It looks like a 2.5-minute timeout. And when we return, we should be ready for, again, this Class B semifinal from Vendetta Stadium, Batavia and Newark, coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network and AM 1490, 100.1 FM, WBTA.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang! McKee, first down and more. Charlie McKee. Touchdown, Oceanside.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
Captains for tonight's game for Newark, number 11, Dylan Hernandez, and for Batavia, number 1, Alex Hale. The officials for tonight's game, the referees, Tim Moriarty.
And welcome back, Vendetta Stadium, as the captains head to the middle of the field. And in this Cova Arid, only one representative from each team, and it is Dylan Hernandez, a senior who will start as a receiver and I believe a defensive back for Newark, and Alex Hale, who is a cornerback and wide receiver for the Blue Devils. A couple of seniors out there. And again, the field kind of bathed in sun, not kind of, is bathed in sunshine, Jay. Again, a little breezy. The wind coming out, I believe it's out of a westerly wind, so we'll see how much that affects. But again, both teams with very strong running backs, so we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The wind is going from, when I was down on the field before, it's going left to right almost, but now you're saying it's going across the field.
Yeah, I think kind of
right?
across, out of the west, right? Kind of a,
yeah.
I don't know if it's a northwest or a southwest, but yeah.
And Batavia will take the ball to start things off here.
Yeah, they did that last week. Again, you don't see that a lot, but very confident, obviously, in their offense, winning the toss, and they'll elect to get the football first. So we'll see that offense out there. And we'll bring you, at least get you prepped on the offensive line. Garrett Schmidt, a sophomore, starts at center. Jacob Long is the right guard. Matthew McQuethy, another sophomore, is the left guard. The tackles are Abel Hammer on the right side and Austin Fernandez on the left side. Not a big line in terms of height. I think actually the tallest, you got a 5'7", a 5'10", 5'10", 5'11", and I think a 6 foot or so. But there's some girth to that line. But again, not a lot in height for Batavia's line. But they've done a great job. We even talked about Batavia defensively. Their defense has just been outstanding this year. We're obviously get a chance to see them as this game progresses and talk more about them.
Yeah, the offensive line for Batavia, again, this is my impression from 5 weeks ago, is just a crew that is learning on the go. They're absorbing a lot of information as the season has gone on, and they're obviously, picking it up and, performing very well coming down the stretch here.
And just to finish off that offense, Jesse Reinhardt will be the quarterback, and we'll finish. We'll let the kickoff go here. Of course, Therese Smith, the running back, as the ball falls off the tee. Tyler Budzniak, one wide receiver, mentioned Alex Hale, the other. They'll shift in Evan Cummings at wide receiver. They also use as a tight end. Caden Marucci will line up as a tight end. So we'll see the offense they come out in. Meanwhile, it is Jaden Shepard that will take a 9-yard approach and kick off for the Reds. Therese Smith, one of the deep backs, standing to the near side here at the 19-yard line. Let's see if they keep it away from him. Here's the approach and the boot. And it is going to be Smith at the 22. Starts off to the near side here. His left 30, 35 has an opening, 50. Down the sideline, a foot race, and Smith's going to win it. He's going to take this the distance for an opening touchdown. The opening kickoff touchdown. Therese Smith, 77, 78 yards. Broke through that first wave, Jay, and then hit the sideline on the near side. I don't think he was even touched.
No, there was no physical engagement at all by the kickoff coverage for Newark on that. Nobody pursues on the play and tries to get into the blockers at all to try to hold up one of those seams. It was an easy turn for Smith, and then it was off to the races, and he showed his speed. But, boy, that Newark coaching staff is not going to be happy at all with the performance of their coverage unit on that play because they did not come to play.
12 seconds into the first quarter, and now Havens will try to kick the extra point out of the hold of Reinhardt. A low drive, but he is able to punch it through. And Batavia, well, I think I jinxed the offense. We didn't get to see. The good thing, I guess I gave you the starters in offense. We're not going to see them right away, barring something different here on Batavia kicking off. But again, a 70, I think it said 22-yard line. I think he took it about 78-yard return by Smith. Set up nicely. Good job by the return team to create that initial hole. And he burst through it and then got the near sideline. There was one, I think it was Cody Luther giving chase, but he had no chance. And down the near sideline for the score. And we mentioned Smith, 17 touchdowns on the season. There's another for him.
Yeah, you normally would expect from where he fielded that ball, and it was a fairly decent kick, obviously not particularly long, but I think for high school level, that's pretty much average, and it had some height to it. But he was not engaged at all. There was no hitting going on when he got to the 35, his own 35, and after that, everything was sealed off from the inside, and it was really as easy as you're going to get in a sectional semifinal, that's for sure.
So now Havens, who just nailed the extra point. Carter Havens, that's the Batavia kicker. Handles all the place-kicking chores. We'll take about a 3-4 yard approach here, right footer. And a short end-over-end kick heading to the far sideline and rolls out of bounds at the 38 or 9 yard line. So that'll draw the flag. And the ball goes out of bounds. You can take it at the 35, or I believe where it went out of bounds, which will be a few extra yards upfield from the 35-yard line. So it looks like Newark will put it in play at their own 38-yard line.
Well, based on the two plays that we've seen so far, Batavia thinks they have an edge on special teams because that, to me, that was a planned kick. And it almost landed in a position that the closest player to that ball as it was going out of bounds was a Batavia player. There was, no decisiveness whatsoever on the kick cover or kick return unit on that play. Someone's got to go over there, claim that ball, and make sure it's either secured safely or at least knocked out of bounds.
Pretty good drive start, though. At the 44-yard line is where they'll mark it as the Reds come out on offense. And it looks like they're going to direct snap here to Javante Murray. Hernandez goes in motion. 3 wide receivers set to the left, single receiver near side. Murray gets the snap, running to the far side, turned in, and gang tackled. Got a yard, got to the 45, but the Batavia defense, the right side over there, coming in to make the play. Batavia defensively, Jaden Osborne, one defensive tackle. They'll kind of usher in the other. And it looks like it might be, I don't know if that Fernandez out there is the other one. Danny Sava is a defensive end. Garrett Schmidt is also a defensive end. Linebackers, you've got Caden Marucci, Aiden Anderson, and Matthew McQuethy. Cornerbacks are Budzniak on one side. And trying to see the other corner. I think it's probably Hale. The other, Alex Hale, actually the strong safety. Free safety is Jesse Reinhardt, just missing that one corner. Could be Jagger Owens. I know he played a little bit at the corner spot last week. Second down and 9 yards to go. Murray gets the snap once again, running straight ahead and avoids one, and then dives down to about the midfield stripe, it looks like. So he does get about 5 on that carry. So they go 2 direct snaps to Trevante Murray, a 5'8", 184-pound senior. And the 2 snaps, they're going to say he was down to 49, so they net 5 yards, and that leads the Reds with a 3rd and 5 at their own 49-yard line.
And Newark pulls their tight end, Dylan Hernandez, on the play and comes in and gets a seal-off block on the near side and open up a decent hole there for Murray. But the one thing we're seeing right off the bat, Batavia is giving no respect to the idea that Murray's going to hand the ball off. They are totally focused on him. So if he's going to stay in that snapping position, they are all locked on him. They're not worried about him throwing. They're not worried about him handing the ball off.
Tyler Bud, and here's the right side of the line moving prior to the snap. Tyler Budzniak, by the way, is the other starting corner for the Blue Devils. He's the corner here on the left side down below us to finish out Batavia's defense. Mentioned Jaden Shepard, the quarterback. You've got Mallet, Hernandez, Hughes as receivers. Murray, we mentioned in the backfield. Carlos Bueso, Cody Luther, William Tremblay, Andrew LaFountain, James Crocker, the offensive line. Olin Knight also out there as a receiver for the Reds, who now face a 3rd and 10 at their own 44-yard line.
Yeah, right side of the line just jumped the gun on that. And again, you got somebody different back there calling the signals right now.
And it is Murray again to take the snap. Empty backfield, 5 receivers said he is going to throw, and the ball caught low here. And trying to get some running room is Jacob Sides, and he'll go nowhere. Sides made the catch, had to go down to make it, was fortunate to keep a knee off the ground. Osborne and Budzniak sliding over to make the tackle. That goes down as a 2-yard loss and will force the Reds into a 4th and 12 and most likely a punting situation.
Well, again, a particularly well-thrown ball by a guy who's been playing running back all year, but good catch on the play. Good pursuit, though, by the Batavia defense. They really came hard to the ball, and Alex Hale, I think, got the final hit on the play.
And Sides, who just caught that pass, looks like he's the punter for the Reds. Aiden Anderson, the sophomore, who missed last week's game with an injury, back this weekend, awaits the kick. And just gets through the outstretched arms of Batavia guy getting in there quickly. Picked up here by Anderson at his own 18, running to the far side of the field and across the 25, and then push back. They'll give him forward progress out to about the 26-yard line. And we'll see the Blue Devils on offense after they force a 3-and-out of the Reds.
Much better coverage that time by the special teams for Newark, and a chance for them to kind of get engaged in this game. They've been just a little off concentration early on here with the bad kick coverage, the near disaster on the kickoff by Batavia, and then, of course, the 5-yard penalty that blew up that drive as well. So got some good licks on the play. Now maybe they better be ready to play football, because if not, they're going to be down by 2 scores before you know it.
Batavia's opening drive brought to you by Ken Barrett Chevrolet Cadillac on West Main Street in Batavia. That's Ken Barrett. Jesse Reinhardt, the quarterback, a junior with a 3-receiver set. And now they're going to shift the tackle now over to the near side, and a flag comes out. As that is Abel Hammer, as they were going to go to an unbalanced line on the left side, the open side of the field. But then the official threw the flag, and they are going to call a false start. I didn't see another player moving.
Nope.
Sometimes if you have 2 players in motion, all I said was Hammer move over to the near side. Batavia now a 1st and 15 with the ball pushed back to the 21-yard line. Reinhardt shotgun. Smith, the running back, stands to his right. There's a slot man off to the right side. Budzniak and Hale receivers near side. Here's Hammer again shifting to the left. And now Osborne goes in motion, the up back, and here's the give to Smith. Running behind Osborne, straight arms one, and then a flag comes out, and Smith taken down, and a nice tackle there. Good play. Logan Evans, I believe, in there, made a nice short tackle on Smith. A pair of 5s meeting there. Flag coming out during the run.
Also looked like Syquire Norvell also getting in there, getting a good finish. So most certainly a better physical response here on that punt coverage and these initial plays for the Newark side of the ball.
And Batavia hit with a holding call here, so kind of a little bit of a tough start for the Blue Devils. Offense here. They lead 7-0 if you just joined us on a opening kickoff return by Therese Smith of 78 yards. But now we'll have a 1st and long if they accept the penalty, which it appears they are. The run was only, a couple of yards run, a gain of 1 or 2. They're going to push Batavia back, though, inside their own 15-yard line, down to about the 12. It will remain 1st down, but 1st and long, 1st and about 24.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they went with the unbalanced line. Everything powered to the left, and the play just got blown up by the Newark defense.
And here's Smith now running right side and dives ahead for only a few yards. This does cross the 15 to about the 16-yard line, and not much more than that. In on the stop, Dylan Hernandez, 5'10", 200-pounder, one of the, again, representing the team as the captain for this game. Gain was out to the 16-yard line, 4 yards. Second down, about 20 to go.
And good job by Hernandez to be able to shed that initial block, get into the hole, and a good wrap-up on Smith, who was able to still keep his feet moving and get another yard or so.
Smith out, Aiden Anderson now in the run spot, but Reinhardt's going to throw, has time, pumps a couple of times, now chased out of the pocket, in trouble, and he's going to be sacked as he's thrown down way back at the 1-yard line. Trevion Clark finally got him to the turf. He kept giving up ground, Jay, as he rolled to his right, and they're going to mark that all the way back to the 3-yard line, a 13-yard sack, and Batavia now with a 3rd and long deep in their own territory.
Well, there's one thing about being confident, there's another sometimes about, not using your best judgment, and Reinhardt has obviously done a great job this year for Batavia. That time wanted to keep the play alive, give him credit for that, and thought he might have something downfield. There was a little bit of confusion pre-snap for Lions in their defensive backfield, but Reinhardt never could find it and gave up a big loss.
And here's a running play. I believe this is Osborne, the fullback, just trying to give Batavia a little more room here deep in their own territory, and he is able to move the ball out to about the 8-yard line for a 5-yard gain, but that's well short of a first down, 4th and very long. So not a good first offensive series for the Blue Devils as they come up with minus yardage, and now will have to kick out of their own end zone.
It's time now for the Batavia special teams to face a little pressure here. This is, first of all, you got to secure that snap, and obviously try to get the best punt you can away. But either way, Newark's probably going to come up with some really good field position here.
Yeah, it is Jacob Sides that awaits the kick, standing at the 40-yard line. And finally, Hale drops back. That's Alex Hale to kick this one away. Standing a few yards deep in his end zone, does get it away. High kick heading to the far sideline and takes a nice bounce for Batavia. Goes upfield to the 45, to the 46. Under the circumstances, a pretty good punt by the senior Hale. And Newark will go on offense for the second time with a good drive start at the Batavia 46-yard line.
That really was a solid punt. No return, which is really the key right there. Netting, 30-some yards, 38 yards on the kick. Nicely done by Hale. And another special teams win of sorts, or at least a draw on that particular punt with no return.
So a drive start again at the 46, Newark and Batavia territory, almost midway through the opening quarter, 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go. A 7-0 Batavia lead as Therese Smith took the opening kickoff to the house, and Carter Havens booted the extra point, and that's the scoring, 7-0. Newark's first possession, a 3-and-out. Let's see what they can do this time. Murray again will take the direct snap, and here he is running off to the far side. The play, though, blown dead. And a false start call here on the Reds. So kind of a tough start offensively for both teams. Batavia just had a couple of penalties and some minus yardage plays. And Newark not starting much better here offensively. They're pushed back to their own side of midfield now, 1st and 15. Give them 2 penalties, I think.
Yeah, it's 2 penalties. Out of 5 offensive plays?
No, I think he marked it 10 yards off. He took 5 yards and 5 more yards. So now they're putting it back where it should be at the 49 and 1st and 15. So again, Murray takes the direct snap, empty backfield, a 4-receiver set with a slot back out there as well to the right side. Long count, Murray gets the snap, hiding to the near side, and in the backfield, trying to get free, and does cross midfield and does pick up a few yards before he's tripped up. Nice job by Batavia to string that out. Marucci was out there. Garrett Schmidt in on the stop. McQuethy, the middle linebacker, I believe also in on the play. Gain of about 4, we'll say, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, you can see what Murray poses for the defense. Not only is he quick to get to the outside, but once he comes under tackle, he has all those tacklers around his feet. He's able to keep those hips moving, keeps his balance. You've got to make sure you wrap up by Batavia. Like I said, good pursuit to the ball, no doubt. But that being stated, someone's got to finish it off. You could see that he was thinking he's still a little ways to go before he's finally brought down.
And here he is again. Sides now going in motion, and Sides will get the handoff here. And here's Sides to the 40, to the 35, cuts out to the 30, down the far sideline. And finally, Reinhardt saves a touchdown to free safety, pushing him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Big run of what, over 25 yards or so for Sides, kind of on a little bit of almost a jet sweep look. And he was able to get the far sideline and pick up good yardage and a first down for the Reds.
Well, everybody's focused on Murray in the backfield, and that was most certainly the case there. Murray just takes a couple of steps to the near side. Whole Batavia defense flows, and they were able to get a nice seal off on the left side there. A huge hole for Sides as he came back against the grain. And obviously Batavia's going to have to stay home a little bit more as this game progresses.
So Murray now a first down from the 15-yard line. Gets the snap, started left, now going to try the right side, then tries straight ahead and picks up a couple of yards before he's knocked down. I'm trying to think who that was. I think that might have been Marucci again that in on that tackle, getting down low. A gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8 yards to go.
A good read, though, by Murray. Really like the way he's handling things. It was going to be almost a counter with him following him behind the guard. He saw that hole wasn't open, but kept going, kept looking for his spot. Marucci did a great job of getting into the hole there at the last second and doing a good wrap-up.
James Crocker, the center for Newark, only 5'6" and 163. And he'll snap to Murray here again on a 2nd and 8. And Murray looking to throw and going to fire it into the end zone for Sides, and it is intercepted. Intercepted. I think that might be Reinhardt, I believe, on the interception. I believe it is. As he underthrew the intended receiver, and Reinhardt in position to come up with it. Sides was down there for the interception. Also, Tyler DeLine, I believe, was in the end zone. It was intended for one of them, but an interception for Reinhardt and Batavia, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, just a real good read defensively by Batavia. They had something they were keying on in terms of what was going on in the offensive line. You could see everybody react at the last before Murray even got set. They saw what was going on in the offensive line. They dropped back into their passing lanes. No one Sides was initially maybe a little bit behind him, but the pass was delivered late, and it was good pursuit by Reinhardt and company.
So Batavia on offense, where they struggled their first possession. Drive start at the 20. And here comes Smith. Smith on a little delay to the 25, to the sideline, to the 30, up the near sideline, and pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Taken out by Dalton DePaul. But it is a gain of over 20 yards and a first down. Batavia's first down of the evening on a 21-yard run by Therese Smith.
Abel Hammer was out leading the way on that play for Batavia. He got out there and just gave enough leverage for Smith to be able to turn the corner and use his speed to get up the sideline.
Smith standing to the right of Reinhardt will get it once again and ahead for good yardage to the 50, to the 40, and still on his feet, and finally spun down at the 35-yard line, taken out of bounds. DePaul again over there and on the stop, as well as Shepard. But another good run by Smith and another Batavia first down to the 33, or call it the 34-yard line, it looks like. So back-to-back runs by Smith put Batavia at the Reds' 34-yard line.
And Jacob Long got an unbelievably good block at the point of attack, just buried his guy. Smith ran right into that hole and, again, read his way through. And once he saw a little daylight off to the side, again, he used that quickness of his to get extra yardage. 2 back-to-back 20-plus yard gains.
Anderson in the game now, and Anderson's going to get a toss. He has some room out there, and here's the sophomore to the 30 showing good speed, and he's run out of bounds on the far side of the field by Shepard. So Batavia attacking the edges here. And another first down run. That Aiden Anderson, again, missed last week's game. 5'7", 145-pounder, but again showing good speed once he got out on the edge. It'll be a first down at the 21-yard line.
Alex Hale with a terrific block from his receiver spot as well. He got right into his guy, never really lost engagement on him, and Anderson ran hard to the sideline and picked up the first down.
Anderson remains out there as a man in motion, and it is Anderson again. Anderson running hard and spun to the turf on a tackle by Dalton DePaul, but a pretty good first down gain as he's down to the 15, 6 yards on first down. 2nd and 4 for the Blue Devils at the Reds' 15-yard line.
Yeah, way to stay with the with the play call there. Aiden Anderson running, now a real big guy, running in between the guard and the tackle off the right side, but followed his block and turned upfield, and he got thrown to the floor pretty hard at the end of the play.
And here's Budzniak going in motion. Here's a toss play now running to the near side. This is Carter McFarland's, I believe, in the game at running back. It is. And he's knocked down to the near side near the 10-yard line. Should be enough for a first down. As McFarland's up from the JVs, played last week and gets a carry here, his first of the game. And Batavia has done it on the ground, a drive that started at their own 20. And now a goal-to-go situation. The ball sitting right on the Reds' 10-yard line. First down and goal.
Yeah, pretty simple. Let's just toss left and go behind Hernandez and McQuethy over there on the left side. Again, the receiver does a good job of making sure he engages with that defensive back, and McFarland's did the rest.
Smith back out there now. Standing behind Reinhardt is Osborne. Now the up back shifts off to the right side. And it is Smith now, and Smith trying to bounce it outside to the 10, to the 5, and powers into the end zone on his feet. He's in as he goes by Hernandez, and Smith in the end zone for the second time. However, we do see a flag on the play. And also a Newark player down and injured down around the 7 or 8 yard line.
So it'll be a huge break here for Newark, as obviously Batavia going to the end zone, but for Newark, though, unfortunately, one of their guys are down right now. We'll have to take a break here while they attend to him.
Yeah, we do have, can't quite tell who it is, but we do have an injured player, so why don't we get at least a 30-second timeout in. 2:48 left in the first quarter. Blue Devils lead this one 7-0 and driving. We'll return in 30 seconds on WBTA.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Well, back again, an injured player for the Reds is at least sitting up now. And again, can't quite tell who it is. Batavia was hit with a holding call, so the touchdown is nullified. And the ball has been pushed back to the 16-yard line. So when play resumes, it will be first and goal from there, from the 16. And again, 2:48 left here in the opening quarter. Batavia leads 7-0 on a 78-yard kickoff return, opening kickoff return by Therese Smith. And it's one of the interior linemen. I believe it's Carlos Bueso.
Yeah.
That was injured. Two-way starter, only a sophomore, 5'8", 200-pounder. But being assisted off the field.
So yeah, the left guard on offense, obviously plays defense as well. Two-way starter. It's tough to go. Hopefully, he's just knocked. He's going to be able to make his way back into the game. Obviously, more, want his long-term health to be administered as well. But all that being stated, for him, it's a big game for Newark. They came in psyched up about this, and I'm sure he's disappointed, or will be sorely disappointed if he can't get back into the game.
Well, Batavia now from the near sideline to the line of scrimmage, which again is the 16-yard line. Open field off to the right, the far side of the field. Budzniak is receiver near side. Hale and it looks like Marucci maybe receivers off to the right side for Reinhardt. Smith to his right. Snap, and it's going to be the toss play to Smith. Smith looked like, I thought he maybe try to throw the ball. Instead, he's going to try to turn the corner. Does. Still on his feet, breaks a tackle at the 5 and into the end zone for a touchdown. A tough 16-yard run to the far side. Broke a couple of tackles. The last one at the 5-yard line, and he's in for the touchdown. Another Newark player injured and on the far sideline on that play.
And he may have been finished off. I saw Jared Osborne lay a big-time block out there toward the initial time when Smith looked like he was going to be under tackle, and he was able to break a couple of tackles, but Osborne came flying in there and just buried somebody. Again, I'm not sure if it's the gentleman who's over on the sideline right now, but Osborne with a huge finish block. But Smith kept moving and not really good tackling by Newark. They had a couple of good shots at Smith to bring him down. They didn't. He has obviously shown he knows how to get to the end zone. That's his second score of the game.
Yeah, the injured player, again, he was off the field on the far sideline, and so play will resume here. So a couple of injuries on back-to-back plays for the Reds. They'll neither look too serious. We'll see if either player can get back in. Can't quite see who that player is. Meanwhile, Carter Havens will try and add the extra point here. Out of the hold of Reinhardt, snap and the kick again very low, but he does get it through. And the Blue Devils now open up a 14-0 lead. And a timeout brought to you by Valley Jewelers. See them at the clock on Jackson Street in downtown Batavia. That's Valley Jewelers. So Batavia kind of a slow start, Jay, offensively. Their first series, a couple of penalties, some negative yardage plays, but they stick it on the ground to that series, and 80 yards for the touchdown. Smith doing a lot of that work.
Smith doing a lot of the work, but also Anderson came off the bench for 2 consecutive runs, including that initial pitch out to the right. You know, again, Batavia trying to break for him a little bit, keep the defense off balance, and playing with a physical edge so far here. I mean, it's showing, unfortunately, with injuries on the other side of the field, but you know, the interior of that Batavia offensive front, they have really come to play today.
And the Blue Devils will kick off from the 40 here, as Havens will tee it up. And let's see if Murray will be one of the return men, I believe. They've pretty much kept him in check so far. The longest play came from, again, Sides. That 25-yard run or so. Yeah, Murray the deepest of the 3 return men, but Havens just going to, again, end-over-end kick to the far sideline and a return up to the 41-yard line. I think that was Norvell that got his hands on it and brought it upfield a few yards. Batavia definitely staying away from Murray, it looks like, not kicking deep to the outstanding senior running back. Drive start from the 41 here for Newark.
Nice job by Norvell to really, they had the same kickoff that we saw from Batavia earlier in the game where the ball was allowed to bounce free, went out of bounds, and no harm, no foul. But in that particular case, Norvell this time very decisive, takes it, and then goes right upfield. He knows he's not going to have any blocks waiting for him, and he took a big-time hit, but he got his team a solid possession start here.
So a drive start at the 41. Again, Murray will take the direct snap, a 5-receiver set. And now Sides, one of them goes in motion and will cross in front of the quarterback and fake handoff to him. Murray will keep it, and he's tackled right away. Nice job. I think that was Hammer, excuse me. Abel Hammer that was in there. And also it looks like along the defensive line now, Jonah Luplo out there for Batavia, 6'1", 188-pound senior, getting some time at the left defensive end. Second down 10, no gain at the 41.
Yeah, they ran the action with Sides that got the big gain earlier in the quarter. Batavia not fooled, and I believe it looks to me like Marucci is just keying totally on Murray. He's not that's his call all the way, side to side. It's going to keep Murray within the flow of the defense, and he read that play beautifully.
And now here's Murray getting the snap again, and now off to the left side. He's got a first down at midfield and is run out of bounds across the way. Taken out over there. I think Reinhardt stepped up and forced him out of bounds, but it will be a first down run for Murray and the Reds in Batavia territory. He was finally forced out at the 44-yard line, but a first down for Newark.
Wow, Murray really shows some real class on that play. He comes up, he sees a would-be tackler. Looks like the tackler has an angle on him at the hash mark on the far side, and just freezes him just enough, and then puts on the jets and shows that he's got, you're going to have to take a very cautious approach and an angle on Murray once he's beyond that line of scrimmage.
So first down at the 44. They remain in that look. Murray getting the direct snap. Sides again goes in motion and faking the handoff to him, and Murray trying a little stutter step in the backfield looking for a hole. There is none in the interior of the Batavia defense. Shutting that play down. Danny Sava's in there, it looks like. Also, like for that young man to turn around, I think it was McQuethy, the middle linebacker, in there too. No gain for Murray on that one. 2nd and 10 at the 44.
Yeah, Batavia's staying home even with Sides and that big gain earlier. The same action, play fake. They're more focused on Murray right now until, I think they're basically saying, until Sides or some other back other than Murray can beat us, we're going to stay focused on number 21.
As we hit the last minute of play here in the first quarter, 14-0 Blue Devils lead. Hernandez now going in motion. Let's see if he'll lead the way for Murray here. Murray rolling to his right, looking, going to throw again, and Hale on the blitz, but Murray will get away from him and then take off 40, 35 to the near sideline and knocked out of bounds by Reinhardt down at the 27-yard line. So a good job by Murray as he was being tracked down the backfield. And Hale on a corner blitz had a shot at him, but he escaped Hale and able to run down the near sideline of the 27 for a Reds first down.
It was really outstanding because Hale came on a jailbreak on the play, got into his body, he shook him off, had another would-be tackler around his feet, got past that, and then started putting the moves on. And, Batavia's, on red alert at that moment. They know what Murray can do. They're able to finally corral him at the 27.
Batavia change along that defensive line as Hammer checks in. And now flag prior to the ball being snapped here. And a procedure call against the Reds. So a 1st and 15 now. The ball back to the 32. Down to 42 seconds to go in the opening quarter. 14-0 Blue Devils lead. The Reds, though, trying to get something going here. And have a 1st and 15 at Batavia's 32. As they huddle up. Again, Murray's taken every snap here on their offensive plays, and he's lined up to do the same. A 3-receiver set to the near side, single receiver out to the far side. Side's now going in motion, crosses by the quarterback, gets the handoff, and hit at the line of scrimmage, but able to get away, now running wide, as Sava had him originally, but he was able to get away and still will end up losing yardage. Give Danny Sava, the right defensive end, credit. He kind of busted that play, slowed down Sides, and then the rest of Batavia catching up with him as he ran off to the far side of the field and loses yardage back to the 36-yard line.
Alex Hale finishes the play, but like you said, Sava was able to, he was under block, and also, of course, he was basically responsible for Sides coming his way. He was able to stay out of that block, almost made the tackle, but slowed it up and allowed the pursuit to come back because again, they were coming with Murray to the near side, and Sides was going to the far side.
And the first quarter comes to a close, and a good quarter for the Blue Devils as they have a 14-0 lead through the first 12 minutes. We'll take a 60-second timeout as you listen to high school football on the Varsity Sports Network and WBTA. And ready for second quarter action here as the Reds now will head toward the north end zone here at Vendetta. On a 2nd down and long after a loss of yardage. Again, Murray will take the direct snap. Sides comes in motion. And he fakes the sides and will run it himself and ahead for a couple of yards before he is pushed back. They'll give him forward progress to the 33, which is a gain of about 3 or 4 yards, and bring up a 3rd down, 3rd and about 15.
And with Carlos Bueso going to the sidelines earlier in the game for Newark, he's been replaced out there by Andreas Parrish. So playing with a backup out there as well. once again, Murray does a nice job of making something positive out of it. Shows a lot of courage going in there in between those defensive tackles, and there could be somebody coming at you fast and hard. He was able to keep things going and got a positive gain out of it.
Jaden Osborne in there at a defensive tackle spot now. As Murray, Hernandez in motion, crosses in front of him. Murray rolling to his right, looking to throw, perhaps now going to step up and run, and he'll not get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard here. Looked like he wanted to throw initially and kind of rolled off to his right. Osborne's over there helping out on the stop. And they'll say, I guess, no gain. Did make it back to the line of scrimmage, and now another lineman has to sit down and shaken up, and that is Andrew LaFontaine. As he was up and then just decided, oh, my leg hurts or something, and had to take a seat. So Newark, especially the lineman here, taking a hit. As Jay just mentioned, Bueso out of the game. So all this with 10:46 to go in the first half, 14-0, and it'll be a fourth and about 15 coming up for the Reds.
I like the way Murray's, like you said, it looked like he was going to pass. He sold the pass as best he could, but again, that Batavia front plus the linebackers, they're not thinking pass first. They're thinking Murray's going to hold on to the ball. So eventually, the way this is shaping up here, especially if they are forced to punt the ball or give the ball over to Batavia here and they were to fall down by 3 scores, Murray's going to have to start throwing the ball. He's going to have to, and not just throw the ball, he's going to have to make plays to open things up for himself on the field. And that's going to be, that's asking a lot for a guy who only played a little bit earlier in the season and has played more as the year has gone on and was a featured back, and today he's being asked to basically play a wildcat sort of role for his team on every down.
Yeah, and again, this fourth and long, 4th and 15. So we'll see. They most likely will go for it. We again check that Gerace Realty scoreboard. It reads 14-0 Blue Devils. And a big 4th and 15 for the Reds, and I think they're going to use their first of 3 timeouts, and they do. We mentioned some substitutions along that Batavia defensive line. We'll tell you that substitutions are brought to you by Northside Deli, the home of Batavia's favorite subs. Northside Deli, back in North Streets in Batavia. Well, again, 10:46 to go, and the Reds taking a timeout. They know this is a big play, down 14-0. If they want to stay in this game, they've looking to put some points on the board here on this drive.
Right, because the Batavia offense has shown they can drive the length of the field. They have big playmakers out there as well. And to add to it, unfortunately for Newark already, they've lost a couple of guys to injury. So the rank's getting a little thinner. You don't want to get – 14 is not insurmountable, nor is 21. But if you start having to go deeper and deeper into your roster, it's going to be tough to expect to get enough stops and score enough to get back into the game.
Well, we'll see what they come up with here. Longtime coach Mike McGavis. Talked to him before the game. His 26th season.
Wow.
These teams no strangers. They met in the 2017 season. I remember talking to Coach. The game Batavia won 51-14. I believe that was game played at Brockport. And that was the year, I believe, Batavia went on and lost in the championship, state championship game.
Oh, what a team.
Yeah, 51-14, I believe. That was a quarterfinal round game. And, of course, they played this year, regular season. Batavia, again, that 28-20 win, a game played at Lions. Well, they'll stay with the same formation. Murray's going to take the direct snap here. He's got a 4-receiver set on a 4th and 15 at the 33-yard line of the Blue Devils. Long count by Murray. And wearing gloves on both hands, we'll notice. And it looks like he's going to run it. Getting to the outside, and he's got a chance. 30 to the 20, cuts back to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone for a touchdown. A 33-yard run on 4th and 15 for Murray, and the Reds are on the board.
And just a terrific block on the play. I believe that was Jaden Shepard, who's played quarterback this year. This time he's in a wide receiver position, and he gets that defensive end on the ground. And once that happened, Murray was able to get the corner, and then just a little slow on the pursuit for Batavia. And Murray showed what he's made of. What a huge play. Wow. We were talking all gloom and doom if they didn't come up with something big. Well, they did, and they're right back into this game.
Hernandez will hold, and Jaden Shepard will try and add the extra point. Snap the put down, a high kick, and it does get through the uprights. And Newark cuts the Batavia lead in half, 14-7, as the Reds drive 59 yards. But the touchdown itself, the big play, a 33-yard run. They basically said, give the ball to Murray, get him out in space. They got him out in the opening, the wide side of the field, and he did the rest. Even cut back and took it into the end zone for the score.
And again, that block I thought by Shepard was just huge on the play, to able to get his man down on the ground. Once that containment was lost, you want that defensive end to string that play out. Once he's down, now it's an easy turn of the corner, and everybody's a little slow coming in, a little different defensive approach on the play, right? You're thinking pass for the most part. You also know that Murray is probably going to run the ball, but at the same time, you've got to stay back. And with it was just a little too slow. And once he got into that open field, he really showed that he can break tackles and he can find his way into the end zone.
So he had 6 scores in the game last week, the big win over Wayne, and he adds a touchdown here to keep his team alive. 14-7 your score now, 10.5 minutes to go in the first half of play. Shepard now will tee it up at the 40-yard line. And Therese Smith deep along with Aiden Anderson, both dangerous return men in their own right. Smith already a couple of touchdowns in this game for the Blue Devils. And Shepard now will approach from about 9 yards away as the coverage unit fans out across the 35-yard line. And the ball rolls off the tee. And Hernandez now will step in there and hold it for his kicker. No, maybe not. He's going to just tee it up again for him. And here's the approach and the boot. And kind of a squib kick that bounces a couple of times dangerously, and a Batavia player down on his knee, so he is down at the 30-yard line. That's Budzniak, I believe, that covered it up. So that's where Batavia will start on offense, a drive at their own 30-yard line. Their lead cut in half now, 14-7. And we'll see what they come up with on this drive.
And not just from a scoring standpoint, but just what an emotional lift that play is for Newark. We've already lost one starter on the offensive front. We've seen a couple other guys get shaken up and go off the field. You know, it turns into a real long day sometimes, you know, real early in some of these high school football games. They came back with a huge play, and now it's time for Batavia to answer.
And again, from the 30-yard line, Reinhardt has Smith to his left, 2 receivers off the left side. Osborne, the slot back, and it is going to be Smith running to the wide side of the field, and Smith turns the corner and knocked out of bounds. Again, they keep attacking the edges. Smith bouncing it outside. It seems like every play ends up with someone running out of bounds. It's a 15-yard run from the 30 to the 45, and a first down for the Blue Devils.
And again, the receivers for Batavia, that spread formation that they go with, they're doing a great job of getting into their blockers, or getting into their blocks, and not allowing them to disengage. I mean, those linebackers out there have to do a better job for Newark to shed those blocks.
And here comes Smith again, straight ahead, and this time hauled down, but he's got 4, a decent first down gain. A 4-yard pickup before he's tripped up. Trevion Clark, I believe, might have been out there in that stop along with Norvell. 4 yards, again to the 49, second down, 6 yards to go.
And also Dylan Hernandez helped out on that play as well. Pretty good read, but a pretty sizable hole there for Smith. He's a couple of yards downfield before he's under tackle.
Anderson replaces him now at the running back spot in that pistol formation behind Reinhardt. And Anderson gets the call here, and he is hit hard right at midfield. Big hit on that play by Dalton DePaul, who's been active defensively. He will gain a couple of yards, but DePaul laid a nice stick on him. He went from his own 49 to the Reds' 49 for the 2-yard pickup. And that brings up third down and about 4.5 maybe here as we look straight down at it, just inside the midfield stripe.
Yeah, just a hard running play. Both the runner and the tackler are going hard on the play. Real sensational collision there at the end.
Reinhardt now looking to run here himself. The option going to keep it and cuts back and is knocked down shy of a first down. Jumping on his back is Norvell and riding him to the turf. He does pick up a couple of yards, but he'll be a couple of yards shy of a first down. So a big 4th and 2 for the Blue Devils at the 47 of the Reds.
And Therese Smith checking back into the game, into the backfield for this play for Batavia. all of a sudden there's a couple of really big plays here, Evan, and this already feels like a real big play for Batavia.
Well, again, as Jay mentioned, Smith back in as the tailback here. Pistol formation a couple of yards behind Reinhardt on a 4th and 2. He gets the carry here, and he's got the first down as he's inside the 45 before he's pushed back by Crocker and company. But forward progress to the 44, 3 yards, and a first down for the Blue Devils.
And Matthew McQuethy pulls from that left guard spot, gets a real solid block on the play. And again, Smith really liked the way he disciplines himself to go into the hole. It's not always a lot of room in there necessarily, but you've got to, make that defense play honest. And, if there's not a great hole, but you can get your pads inside there and drive forward and take the hit, you do so, especially on 4th and 2. So good job by the offensive line. Good job by Smith.
So a new set of downs now as Osborne now shifting. The up back goes off to the left side now, and now comes back to the right side. As Reinhardt awaits the snap and going to give a toss here to Smith. Smith tucks it away, heading to the sideline, 40, 35, and ridden out of bounds inside the 30. As again, it was DePaul, 5'11", 155-pound senior linebacker, taking him out of bounds, but it's a first down run down to about the 33-yard line or so.
It's really interesting how they were using Osborne. Like you said, they kept shifting him back and forth, and I believe Reinhardt's probably finding somebody to key on defensively there. They see that nobody's moving when Osborne goes in motion on the play. So this time they just go off the right side, and Osborne gets a huge block on the linebacker, and Smith runs right in behind there for the big yards.
Smith out now. Here's Osborne again, shifting off left. Carter McFarlands is the running back now. He's going to get the toss play, and there's DePaul right there to make a play. Boy, DePaul, I was lucky that he didn't intercept that pitch because he was in there quickly. Read that play immediately and brings McFarlands, who never had a chance. He was lucky just to hold on to the football, really. A loss back to the 34-yard line. So a 6-yard loss. Good play by DePaul. Again, he's been very active defensively for the Reds.
Yeah, and you got to give a little credit to the coaching staff for Newark there as well to have DePaul ready for that read on the play. Osborne again goes out to the left side. He takes the other backer on the play. DePaul is left free. And he read it perfectly. He knew it was going to be a toss pitch, and he was there waiting for McFarlands.
Aiden Anderson, that is the running back now. And here's Reinhardt to throw, and for Busniak, and just through his outstretched arms on the far sideline as he led him a little bit too much, ran an out pattern down around the 18-yard line. And Reinhardt just missed connecting with the senior wide receiver. And that brings up 3rd down and 16 yards to go.
Yeah, there was a play out there to be had, that's for sure. The wind has seemingly died down a little bit, but as I look at that flag, it's still swirling, so it may have added to it just a little bit. But, boy, it was an opportunity for Batavia there to pick up a big play with the passing game.
So 3rd and long. Clock stops. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Second quarter, 14-7. Batavia leads as we check the Drace Realty scoreboard. Reinhardt has Smith in the backfield now. Stands off to his right as the wide receivers shift a little bit, and a lot of confusion. And Coach Briggs a little disappointed in that confusion and has elected to call a timeout. So we'll stay here with, again, 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go. And Batavia facing a 3rd and 16 in this Class B semifinal. The other teams, Honeoye Falls Lima and Palmyra Macedon, also playing at this time down at HFL. The winner of this game, the winner of that game, will meet next Saturday. If it is HFL that wins, the game will be there at the Cougars field.
Saturday?
I believe Saturday. Not sure of a time or anything, but
stay tuned to your local station.
Yes, and we know Alexander has a date in the finals against Avon. Tough break for Avon. They lost their quarterback, a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they were really rolling, yeah. And then they lost to OAE. Did win the game today.
They beat Alexander earlier this year, right? But
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But I think their quarterback is out for the season, so they might have to have a different signal caller when they face the Trojans next week. Here's Reinhardt, speaking of signal callers, on a 3rd and 15, rolling to his right. Under some backside pressure, throws the other way, and it's batted away, and it could have been intercepted. James Crocker from a defensive end spot read that right away as Reinhardt rolled to his right, going to try a pass back to the left, and that was sniffed out by Crocker and company and batted down. It'll be 4th down.
A couple of consecutive good defensive plays, good reads by this Newark team they, again, did not get fooled with all the action. Crocker stayed home. And, boy, if he just had just a little more anticipation, he could have gone all the way with that ball.
They go for it on fourth down. Reinhardt in the pocket. Going to throw downfield for Budzniak, and the ball is caught and into the end zone for the touchdown. Yes! Budzniak over the shoulder catch at the goal line. Brought it in. It was covered well, but a perfect pass from Reinhardt. And Budzniak making the catch, sliding into the end zone for the touchdown. The defensive back on the play injured and in the end zone still down and out.
Yeah, he really laid out on the play to try to come up with it against Budzniak. Blitz from the near side, got right into Reinhardt, but he had just enough time to release that on the fly. Budzniak does a good job of getting release and downfield on the near sideline as well. Good thrown ball and making sure that watch the ball go into your hands, and Budzniak able to just get up over the goal line for the touchdown.
And another injury for the Reds. This is what, their fourth stoppage of play for injuries. This is the defensive back on that play. I'm not sure who that was or who it is that is down. So we wait. The score comes, 5:01 into the second quarter. And gives Batavia their 2-score lead back.
But now we've seen both offenses come through with big fourth down plays. Well, that was a fourth down play, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So both Newark with their fourth down play for a touchdown. Now Batavia fourth down play, fourth and long in both cases, and coming up with big time offensive plays. Newark, keep in mind now they're down 2 scores, and they are unfortunately dealing with another injury here, keeping that part of the game, the part of the staff busy, but they do get the ball to start the second half, and they do have 7 minutes to work with here still in this second quarter. So they can regroup here. They've shown they can move the ball. They've got, obviously, a dynamic playmaker. So this one's going to be very interesting still to come here for Batavia and Newark.
I think it's Norwood Hughes, I believe, is the injured player, cornerback, 5'8", junior.
14, yeah.
I think so, right?
Yeah, I can see it on the
They're
screen.
looking at his right leg, either knee or ankle. He's in a seated position now in the right corner of the end zone, deep right corner of the end zone. Yeah, so we're at fourth. Yeah, I think the fourth stoppage of play for a Newark injury. And not able to put any weight on, it looks like the left. Well, it's either his left or right leg. Okay. It's a leg.
Well, if this was hockey, we'd say, what, a lower body injury?
Yeah.
Or maybe.
I believe it's the left leg that was injured. So Batavia now will attempt the extra point. It is Carter Havens who has hit both of his attempts so far. Reinhardt will hold. As they walk Hughes through the end zone, though, so they'll have to wait till he clears the end zone. So we call this still about a minute away from the middle point here of the second quarter with 6:59 to go. And we wait till Hughes is off the field. They had him off the field. They had him on the back line, but then taking a shortcut, I guess, through the end zone, right?
Yeah, I want to get him over his own sideline, but they can get a look at him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened if his leg got intertwined with Budzniak on the score, but
yeah, well, what a play. I mean, both by the receiver and by the quarterback. It was just a tremendous play for Batavia, and you can see why they're number 2 seed, undefeated so far this year. This is a formidable squad. We weren't necessarily sure how things were going to go back in week 1 when we got things rolling here, but they've been a team that has lived up to the reputation of this program over the last several years.
So now we're ready to continue here with the extra point. Reinhardt to hold for Havens. Snap, put down, and a kick. And again, boy, the kicks have been pretty ugly, but they've gone through the uprights. All 4 extra points, I think. So Batavia opens up a 21-7 lead with still 6 minutes, 59 seconds to go in the first half of play. And the Blue Devils will kick off, of course. We had some sunshine earlier, now a few more clouds rolling in. As you said, maybe the wind might have slowed a little bit. Although, as you say, though, the flag's still going pretty good across the way. I think it's supposed to be a pretty decent week, though, right? I think temperature's
Warm,
supposed to,
warm,
warm
maybe
up.
a little stormy here and there,
Yeah,
but
we've got, well, May is what, Friday, Saturday? May 1st?
Next Sunday?
I don't know.
Next Saturday.
Saturday, maybe, right?
Yeah, what's the 25th? Yeah, okay, you're right.
Yep, okay.
I should never go against the man.
Yeah, seems weird they're talking about football going into May, right? Playing
So
football.
that's going to be it, though, right? Just a sectional championship
Yes.
this year, no states.
Yep, that will be it, yeah. And then on to
Is baseball?
spring sports.
Is baseball? So the baseball hasn't started yet, or what?
Not games. I think the workouts have started. Right? Yeah, workouts
wow.
have started. I think first
Weird.
games are maybe May 3rd, 4th. So, well, it'd be a better season. Baseball. Of course, I play baseball. Baseball always when it started in April, you never know what you're going to get. At least starting in May. And here's again a short kick or a squib kick, and falling on it, covering it up, securing it. Tyler Jewett for the Reds. So they'll get, again, a decent drive start. Again, Batavia doesn't want Murray to get the ball on the kickoff, so they're obviously staying away from him, which is giving the Reds pretty good drive starts. This one will be at their own 44.
Good job by Jewett, though, to handle that play and then take a little hit at the end of it. Secured the ball for his team and gave him good field position. One of those small things that has to be done. Special teams early in this game really cost Newark, with Smith running back the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
So Trevante Murray, the 5'8", 184-pounder, again to take the direct snap, a 4-receiver set. Hernandez an up back off to the right. Sides now comes in motion for the Reds. And faking the handout, fumble on the ground, and it's a fight for the ball. And let's see who they're going to give it to. They're going to say Newark.
Yeah, well, good job diving in there.
Yeah, it was Hernandez, right?
Yep, Hernandez, wow.
And McQuethy was the Batavia player, the middle linebacker, I believe, right?
Yep. Yeah, it looked like...
No, Sava.
Oh,
I think Sava, I think 59.
Yeah, so it really looked like Sava had the beat on it, and Hernandez just sold out to come up with that loose ball. Good job.
Yeah, he seems like an interesting. As I walked to the Newark sideline today to greet their coach, the first player there was Hernandez, and just started pretty personable young man. Just started talking to me.
Gave it the background.
Talking about the wind. So here's Murray again to take the snap as Hernandez goes in motion off to the right side. Murray gets the ball, fumbles it again, and he's down right there. He had to go down to his knee to retrieve it. Jaden Osborne was in there very quickly for the Blue Devils. So they'll lose yardage on back-to-back plays here, and now have a is it third down? Second down, all right.
Third, right?
Yeah, that was third down, right?
Yep, third down.
Yeah, third down, okay. Play disappeared there. So third down ball now back at the 36-yard line. So 18 yards to go here on third down as the clock winds down as we approach 5 minutes left first half. 21-7 Blue Devils. Hernandez goes in motion again. Murray gets the snap, rolling off to his right and trying to gain the corner, turns inside and runs right into, might have been Marucci again, linebacker. Does pick up a couple, only about 2 to the 38, and that'll bring up 4th and long. So not a good series there for the Reds, and a 4th and long. They'll have to kick it away here.
Wow, what an opportunity now for Batavia to really put a stranglehold on this game. Plenty of time, obviously, for their offense. They can just secure the ball in this punt return to go the distance here. This is going to be a very interesting sequence coming up here for this game.
Anderson is deep, and here's the kick, and not a particularly good one by Sides, and it takes a Batavia bounce even and rolls out of bounds across the way at around the 47-yard line or so. So a very short punt. And Batavia is going to get a good drive start with 4:20 to go in the first half. Again, they lead 21-7, and they'll go back on the offense here.
Yeah, ball security issues on that drive for Newark really blew up that whole opportunity for them. 2 of the 3 offensive plays, the ball was on the ground. They were lucky to secure the ball. And now Batavia in business here. Newark, they know that the game, what this drive is going to mean here. They're going to call a timeout here, make sure they're ready. They've already endured a couple of injuries. They've lost one to the defensive backfield on the touchdown play. I don't see the young man back out there yet. I assume he's still over on the sidelines. Queso earlier in the game, a two-way starter, also out of the game. So they want to make sure that they have everybody on the same page here as they get ready to try to defend a very effective Batavia offense.
Yeah, 4:20 to go as Batavia. We'll see if they'll go for it too. You know, the Blue Devils huddling up, their offense quarterback Reinhardt out there giving directions to his teammates. Threw a beautiful touchdown pass on their last series, his 14th of the season. So again, they can come at you with Therese Smith, and again Reinhardt with the arm. I mean, 14 touchdown passes in 7 games. And you've got Smith in the backfield. That's a pretty potent offense.
Yeah, and other guys who want to step in there and make plays to give Smith a little bit of a breather and also show some different works with, different looks with McFarland's and Anderson. They've both done good jobs when they've come in there as well. So, it's a team that's got some depth. They've been able to build up the depth as the year has gone on here, and that's going to keep your playmakers nice and fresh.
Well, a drive start from the 47-yard line for the Blue Devils. Smith in the run spot, standing to the right of junior quarterback Jesse Reinhardt. 3 receivers set, and now play blown dead.
Another timeout, Newark.
Interesting. So they back-to-back timeouts without a play being called.
That would be a penalty in the NFL, correct? Back-to-back timeouts. Yeah. But
so I'm not sure what happened, whether someone wasn't out there or they lined up. The coach just didn't like, but you hate to see that, wasting a second timeout without a play being run.
But you're really adapting on the fly here. Again, you've lost a couple of starters. A couple of guys have been banged up here. And with that, you want to make sure that everything is set and ready to go here. You know what's on the line here. You can't afford to allow Batavia to come down and score on this drive. You go down by 3 scores. That's not the way, obviously, nobody's drawing up falling behind by 3. But when you come in with an offense where you're going to use your featured back as a wildcat throughout the game, you have an idea that you're going to be able to possess the ball, make plays, and grind things out. Fall down by 3 scores, and now you're getting into a foot race, and you're already that far behind. It's going to be a long, long afternoon for Newark here if they can't come up with a stop.
Well, now ready to go. First down from the 47-yard line for the Blue Devils. Reinhardt. Smith to his right, and will give it to the senior. And here is Smith trying to take it wide, and Smith is brought down. And I don't know if they want a horse collar tackle, and Smith injured on the play, it looks like. As Sides was the one that brought him down, and Smith slow in getting to his feet as he was tackled up high. But I guess not illegally, huh?
Well, again,
wait a minute, are they?
Oh.
No, they are. They did catch it, I think. It was a horse collar tackle, I believe.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way. I wasn't sure of how they rule that at the high school level, but.
Yeah, there's the flag. Couldn't see the flag. The Batavia players on the near sideline. I think we're shielding the flag. So that's going to give the Blue Devils a first down and march the ball into Newark territory. As again, Smith was heading toward the edge and looking to turn the corner. I believe Sides probably just did all he could.
Right.
But it results in a 15-yard penalty and a first down for the Blue Devils now at the Reds' 39-yard line.
Yeah, and it was, showed what type of athlete Sides is. They're able to get those hands out there and just pull a guy that's so tough to bring down like Smith. He threw him hard to the ground and really shook him up.
Sides a 6-footer, 163 pounds. Here's Reinhardt now with Anderson in the backfield. And Anderson gets the call, but the play is blown dead. And a false start call against the Blue Devils.
4 penalties on each team so far.
So now 1st and 15 for Batavia as they mark the yardage off and push the ball back to the 44-yard line.
Gives a chance. I think Smith checking back into the game now. Anderson comes out.
As the clock winds down to 3:50 and running here. So Newark out of timeouts. Batavia has 2. As we wind down time here in this second quarter. Yep, as Jay mentioned, Smith back in the run spot for the Blue Devils. And he'll get the carry here, running straight ahead and tackled after a short gain. Still on his feet now, finally, Hernandez there. Norvell also over to help him up, and a good show of sportsmanship. But only a short gain on that play, maybe just a yard or so. Second down, 14 yards to go.
Yeah, it pulled along the right guard to the left side on that play and then tried to slip Smith up the middle, but Hernandez did not go with the action of the guard. He stayed at home and squared up with a real nice tackle.
2nd and 14. Smith standing behind Reinhardt. Osborne up back off to the left. Reinhardt looking to throw. Has time. Going to throw deep down the sideline here for Budzniak again. Overthrown. Down around the 2-yard line. Good coverage by Sides. Sticking right with Budzinski on that play. Or Budzniak, excuse me.
Yeah.
Budzniak.
Yeah, Sides definitely got a better jump on it this time. Was able to get beyond Budzniak as he read the play. So a couple of good consecutive defensive plays here by Newark's defense. So they need to get off the field here with no more points for Batavia.
Well, 3rd down and 14. Clock stop 2:48 to go first half. 21-7 Blue Devils. Budzniak now off to the left side, and here's Reinhardt looking to throw once again, and now in some trouble, and now flips it for Osborne, who makes the catch, and then Osborne down the near sideline, still on his feet, 20, 15, and ridden out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Jaden Osborne, a big catch, big run after the catch by the 225-pound senior, and Batavia's going to get a first down, 1st and goal.
Wow, I mean, a terrific play there, obviously, by Osborne. Just a physical play by Osborne on the play, but also you got to give Reinhardt a lot of credit. Initially, it was a little bit of a toss fake to the outside, froze the defenses. We see a flag on the field here? Oh boy, and that's going to take it back. Maybe an illegal block downfield. Is that what they're saying here?
Yeah, the official now ran all the way back to the 40-yard line and threw the flag down there. So this nice play, and Therese Smith is very unhappy. I don't know if he was the one that they're calling for the illegal block. But, it sure seemed to come pretty late.
Yeah, and from the wrong side of the field. Unless they're talking about an illegal man downfield. But, again, Batavia stayed at home. The whole play, that's what it was, a pass play right from the get-go with the pitch fake to the outside to freeze that defense. And they're saying that's right, a legal man downfield, right?
Ineligible man downfield. So, it's not a holding call. It's an ineligible receiver. And you're right, Reinhardt did a nice job of avoiding pressure, rolling to his right, and then finally keeping his eyes downfield. And he just flipped a little pass to Osborne, who was open on the right side. But the play will be called back. And Batavia not looking very happy about it at all.
Yeah, I would have to talk with the official directly about that, but why would there be anybody downfield? You're staying in. You've sold the fake to the outside. Everybody's staying back. The quarterback's reading across the middle, thought something was going to be open. It wasn't. Good defense in that regard by Newark. And Reinhardt just kept buying time. And, Osborne stayed home, was there for the catch, and then made the huge huge hit down the sidelines, but it's all for naught.
So remember the play that they're going to call it from the 40-yard line, so 5 yards from there pushes the ball to 45. It'll remain 3rd down, I guess, right? It was a 3rd and 14.
They get a yard on the play then, or what?
Now they're moving the chains. I don't know if they...
Wow,
a lot of confusion here for the officials.
Well, it all started, the mystery flag that somebody saw couldn't make the toss. Again, I don't know who made that call by the official, which official and which position he was on the field. Maybe why he didn't initially throw the flag toward the play. That's going to be, another debate for other times. There's no real debate, obviously, to go on here, but just the fact now they don't know how to enforce the penalty as well. It does not look good for the officials. And there comes the Jeopardy theme.
Well, it was a 3rd and 14, and then they moved the chain, so I forget now where the ball was.
Right, was it the 44?
44,
the flag
I think,
was put down at the 40.
So now they adjust the sticks to where they were.
Okay, all right, I see. They should never move the chains. Okay, all right, that's all right.
So the ball sits at, so I believe it's going to be 3rd and 16. It was a 3rd and 14. Now it looks like after all this, a 3rd and 16. Still 2:33 to go on the first half clock. No more than that. Now the ball's at the 48. So that's what, 3rd and 19 now.
2 penalties on this drive for the Batavia offense. One a little bit dubious.
Boy. Here's some of the comments being thrown out down there. Well, they really lengthened this game. Man, all right, there we go. 3rd down from the 48-yard line. Reinhardt, Smith behind him. 2 receivers out to the left. And play action. Reinhardt looking to throw. Fires it over the middle for Anderson. Makes the catch right down the seam. And then brought down at the 15-yard line. Beautiful throw downfield. And now we've got an injured Batavia player. And it's not Anderson. It might be Hale that was running near the play. And now getting up. And he's going to have to come off the field for at least a play. So, but a beautiful throw again by Reinhardt, hitting Anderson right down the seam, right between the right hash mark here. The right hash mark then brought down at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, play fake up the middle though for Therese Smith. The Newark defense is reading, obviously looking for a pass, but they still got to account for Smith. That freezes that up man, and Anderson cut in just enough, got behind him. And nice toss by Reinhardt.
And here is Smith now, and Smith in the backfield as he tries to get to the sideline. And guess what? Run out of bounds. He flags down. They might have got his face mask over there. So more flags come out as he's run out of bounds. It is a positive gain. Got a few yards, but I think I saw some hands up around the face mask of Smith. No, it's on Batavia. They're going to say he might have. No, he just signaled wrong. Right? Okay, I was going to say, yeah. So that's going to put the ball inside the 10-yard line, no doubt. And give Batavia 1st and goal. Exactly 2 minutes to go. That'll push it down to the 7-yard line.
That's our 10th penalty of the first half.
And Batavia will have it 1st and goal at the 7. Smith will settle in as the running back. Pistol formation. He's a few yards behind Reinhardt. Shotgun here. And it is Smith off the right side, and he is stacked up and dropped it to 5. So 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line.
Good stand by the Newark defense. Power play right up the middle. Osborne leading the way. They meet Osborne in the hole, knock him down, and then able to wrap up Smith.
2nd down play, it's Smith again, and breaks away from 1 and trying to get near the end zone. The pile keeps moving and takes it into the end zone. I think he got a little help from some of his linemen, but it is a 5-yard touchdown run for Smith. 3rd touchdown of the game for the senior, and Batavia opens up a 27-7 lead.
I think Abel Hammer was able to get in behind Smith, and a couple of the other offensive linemen kept pushing him forward, but that's Smith, though, not going down with the initial tackle. He was hit in the backfield, and able to keep balance and driving forward, and once he did, the offensive line knew they could give him a little extra push, and he gets in the end zone for a huge touchdown.
It's 20th score of the year for Smith, and here's Havens now with the extra point. And this one a little better looking, and it does go through the uprights, and Batavia opens up a 28-7 lead. Our timeout brought to you by Valley Jewelers. See them at the clock on Jackson Street, downtown Batavia. That's Valley Jewelers. As we check the Drace Realty scoreboard here late in the first half with a $1:26 to go. Batavia now opening up a 28-7 lead over the Newark Reds.
Newark will get the ball to start the second half with 1:26 remaining. They've exhausted all their timeouts here. They do have a guy in Trevante Murray who can obviously make a lot of sensational things happen out on the field here. So this half isn't just over just yet for the Batavia defense or special teams.
Well, Batavia's been keeping the ball away from Smith on the kickoffs, and I'm sure they'll continue to do that once again. They want to get burned with a late score here. Again, Newark does get to receive the second half kickoff. So,
and again, Batavia were in tough situations on their last two drives. They had that fourth down and long and scored on the long pass. And now that one, of course, that drive looked like it was going to be messed up by those two penalties. They were able to overcome a third and very long.
Here's the kick by Havens, and a squib kick, and bounces into sides at the 25 to the 30, up the far sideline, and spun out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And that's where Newark will put it in play. No timeouts, as Jay mentioned, and just 1:21 on the clock.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Batavia defends this. You know, they went into that on the one touchdown where Murray made the spectacular run. On fourth and very long, they played a little bit of a softer kind of a defense with linebackers playing back a little deeper and allowed Murray to get things going. I wonder if it looks like they're just going to stay with their base defense rather than put anybody deep.
And they're going to put a quarterback in play here, it looks like, finally, as Zachary Mallett will take the snap from center. He'll go under center. Murray a few yards behind him in the backfield. He'll get a toss play here. Running to his left and taken down after, I don't even know if he made it back to the line of scrimmage. I don't think he did. Aiden Anderson out there defensively. Hale was out there as well. I think Danny Sava, the D-end on that side. That's a loss of 1. Second down, 11 yards to go.
Interesting to see now Newark going back to the quarterback here. And now Batavia making some personnel changes as well. Looks like they want to get a little more quickness on the field.
And again, Newark can't stop the clock as Mallett again will go under center here. 5'9", 158-pound junior. Hernandez in motion. And it is Murray again. Murray bouncing it outside, then cuts in quickly, and Murray across the 40, wow. 42. Ball comes free, and then Sides has to fall on it back at the 38-yard line.
I think that was Marucci who kind of trailed on the play there, came up from behind and was able to get a good hit on the running back, Kalen Marucci. The ball came free at the end of the play and almost turned into a disaster for Newark.
And it looks like they will not even get another snap off here. 4 seconds to go, 3, and the first half comes to a close. And Batavia with a very good first half. They got off to a great start with a 78-yard opening kickoff return by Therese Smith. He added a couple of more touchdowns on the ground, and then a touchdown through the air for the Blue Devils. Murray was able to get loose on a nice run on a fourth down play for the Newark score. But Batavia has control here, 28-7 at the end of the first half of play. We'll take a 2-minute timeout and recap the first half when we return on WBTA.
We want to thank everyone for doing their part in these challenging times.
No matter where we work from, we're still here protecting you and your family's rights.
We want you to know that we will always be here for you and your family.
Using our technology so we can protect you and your family no matter where we are.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
On the first play, Rager cuts the corner to 30 to 35 to 40 to 45 to 50. The 5, touchdown, Blue Devils. half. And back to pass. Throws straight across the middle. He's got a receiver open and in for the touchdown. Wow, what a play call on first down.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Cuts inside. Touchdown, Red Devils. Rosin coach Craig Murphy. There's you. What a move. And the foul.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Patience offensively against this excellent defense. Now the shot's fired. How about that? Right into the top of the cage off the stick.
Be second down and 3. Handoff this time right up the middle. And B.J. Clark is gone for the touchdown.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone at 866-577-1950.
Now is the time to sign up with Varsity Media for this year's lacrosse season. We offer competitive filming rates for full season coverage of your team. Varsity Media also offers action photography during the lacrosse season as well. To learn more about our services, visit varsitymedia.net or give us a call today.
They are, and they conclude their warm-up and head to the near sideline. And again, set to go on defense to start the second half, as Batavia will have to kick off after winning the opening toss and taking the ball to start this game. So we'll get 12 minutes up on the board, and we'll get it going here in the second half. As we check the Drace Realty scoreboard, 28-7, the Blue Devils in the lead. Therese Smith, 3 more touchdowns, got 20 on the season now. And this, of course, only the 7th game of the season, the 6 regular season games. And I think, Jay, as we touched on earlier, this will be it. I mean, again, in this shortened season in Section 5 sports, again, as we saw in basketball, only 4 teams making it. You're right into the semifinals, and only 4 teams in football. So it's just a playoff game. A semifinal this week, finals will be next week. And then the actual spring sports season begins. Baseball, track and field, I presume. I'm not sure what else.
Lacrosse?
Yeah, lacrosse, I guess, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's gonna make for some busy weeks here ahead here. Better have all those pitchers ready for what's ahead here. Well, the one nice thing, we did talk about this when we were kicking it around when we were together before, just at least with baseball, you're missing some of the worst weather. I mean, we had a snowstorm earlier this week. Yeah. You played ball in Western New York. Yeah. Your boys played ball. You know what kind of weather you run into in April in Western New York, and sometimes in May as well. So
yeah, sometimes they're right.
But they're not. They weren't missing anything by missing April. I mean, it was relatively.
Oh, we had that one the week before. It was in the 70s, couple of days, right? And then a week after we have a little snow. Yeah. So right.
Yeah.
I remember last April. I remember saying that it was a rainy April last year. And I remember saying, it's probably a good thing there's no high school baseball this year because they hardly get any games in. So, and I think they can play a fuller schedule. I thought I heard you can play up to 20 games baseball if you can get them in. So, and I think the season's going into June a little bit. They're not obviously stopping it for state playoffs this year.
Thankfully.
Yes, thankfully.
Should have stopped that a long time ago.
Right.
But that's just one man's opinion.
We're ready for the second half as Carter Havens has it teed up at the 40-yard line, a 4-yard approach for the right footer. He's going to kick this one deep, and we're going to see Murray on a return here. No, it goes through his hands. He has to go back inside the 5 to pick it up at the 2-yard line. Now off to his right and in trouble and dropped at the 1-yard line. And that might have been Marucci that got down there and made the stop. But not a good, this is not what Newark wanted to start the second half. I mean, Batavia took a chance kicking up deep to him, and he let it go through his hands, had to go back and retrieve it, and then was dumped at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, well, you know, they caught Newark not expecting it. They expected another short kick. The blocking scheme was not set up. And then Murray, kind of stunningly, not ready to handle the ball cleanly, and really a disastrous start to the opening drive of the second half for the Reds.
And Mallett will quarterback. Murray in the backfield standing 5 yards deep in the end zone. As Mallett goes under center, we'll give it to Murray off the right side, and he's got a couple, not much more than that. Batavia usually with Seva, Schmidt, Osborne on that defensive line. I think either Hammer or Fernandez in there as a defensive tackle as well. Got your linebackers. Marucci has been very active as a linebacker. McQuethy. And sometimes they alternate the other spot. They've had Therese Smith out there. They've got Ethan Louise out there at times. Budzniak and one cornerback on one side. Alex Hale out there defensively also for Batavia. Reinhardt, the free safety. From the 4-yard line, and Murray again, and not much. I don't think he got anything there. So 2 carries, only a yard or 2 for Murray trying to run off that right side. Yep, it's still at the 3-yard line. So the 2 carries only net a yard, and now still a third down play, 3rd and long for Newark at their own 3-yard line.
And keep in mind, they're trying to run off that right side there, and Carlos Bueso left the game early with an injury, and now we have another Newark player injured.
5th time a Newark player has been down, and we've had to stop this game.
Wow.
And I can't identify who this is, laying on his back at the 5-yard line. So just a minute 12 into the third quarter. Injuries continue to pile up for the Reds.
Once I get my glasses, I'll be able to use the and now number 18 is down. There we go. Right? Is there an 18?
Yep. Tyler DeLine.
Yep. We got to thank our friends at Varsity Media Sports Network for that, because I got the close-up right here. How about that?
There you go.
Nice. Well, unfortunately, we got to see the young guy down. Hopefully it's not anything overly serious here. Stretching out the leg there a little bit. Maybe just, you know, a lot of heavy contact there. It was at the point of attack off that right side. And
up to a seated position now, which is good. Yeah, so Murray on a couple of runs only gaining a yard, so not a good start here for the Reds in the second half. Down 28-7 and now face a 3rd and 9 deep in their own territory. As the injured player helped to his feet, slowly will walk to the far sideline. And the Batavia defense heads back out there. I think it's Jagger Owens. The other cornerback couldn't identify that's heading off. He's the cornerback on the left side. Budzniak, cornerback on the right side. McQuethy, Marucci, and Aiden Anderson is the third linebacker for the Blue Devils. So here we go, 3rd and 9 as they wind the clock for the Reds from their own 3-yard line. As they break the huddle, head to the line of scrimmage. Mallett will quarterback. He's got Murray standing in the end zone a few yards behind him. 2 wideouts off to the right side. Mallett going to give to Murray again, and Murray hit and dumped in the end zone. I don't know if it's a safety, though. I think he was, forward progress. And now we got a little skirmish in the end zone after that play, as it was Olin Knight for Newark was tied up with one of the Blue Devils. Now they're going to say it'll be 4th down at the 1. He'll lose 2 yards, but a great job by Batavia defensively. They did bring him down in the end zone, but you could tell the forward progress. And we've got personal foul on both teams for that little skirmish I mentioned in the end zone. So it'll be 4th down and 11 at the 1-yard line for the Reds.
I think it may have been Austin Fernandez who got the initial hit on Murray and pushed him back to the 1. He kept trying to struggle to move forward and got thrown back into the end zone, like you said. But no, his forward progress he didn't give up any ground after he was initially hit. He got pushed back but didn't surrender the yardage, and therefore they'll give him his forward progress here. Maybe even a little favorable. Yeah, they're going to mark it back about a yard loss, it looks like here.
So they wind the clock up, and Reds will have to punt out of their own end zone here.
So yard markers were on right now.
So not the second half they envisioned, the start of the second half that they envisioned and really needed, down 28-7. And they're lining up.
Well, they're calling a 3rd down play. Wow, what a break.
They've already had 3 down. I don't know what happened there. Now here's Murray. He's going to get trapped for an end zone here, and there's the safety. A deep handoff. First of all, I don't know how it'd get back to 3rd down. We're a little confused here, but that was a deep handoff in the backfield. I mean, he got the ball 4 yards deep in the end zone. Batavia had already busted through, and he had no chance. And Batavia gets a safety here 2.5 minutes into the second half to increase their lead now to 30-7.
Yeah, just to repeat, I mean, there was on 3rd down and 9, Murray was stopped for a loss and actually was tackled in the end zone. Flags came out toward the end of that play for unsportsmanlike conduct. When you'd normally think that the play would have counted, and it looked like they marked it. They looked like they marked it according to his progress on the play or lack thereof. But instead, they give him another down, and it turns into a disaster for Newark, now down by 23 points.
And Batavia will get the ball now here, leading 30-7, as it'll be a free kick from the 20-yard line for the Reds. And it'll be Smith and Anderson, the deepest of the return men. Again, you have the option to punt it or place kick it. We'll see what the Reds elect to do here. So if they had any thoughts of, springing a second-half comeback, they've been severely damaged by the opening few plays here. Actually, the opening kickoff really took its all. Goes between Murray, and he had to go back inside the 5 to retrieve it, and they just unable to recover from there. And it will be a place kicked here by Jaden Shepard. Ball on the tee at the 20-yard line. And the kick. Drives it to the far side of the field. Smith's going to get his hands on it. Picks it up at the 38. Retreats about the 36. Now runs to the near side. And trying to turn the corner. And is able to get to the corner and then knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. A return of about 15 yards. Good job by Shepard, who kicked off there. And also Logan Evans. They kind of had the angle on him and forced him out of bounds. But still a Batavia drive that will start in Newark territory at the 45-yard line.
I'm talking about a kid that scored 20 touchdowns, so it's going to sound like an odd statement, but Terrell Smith has really, his speed is surprising. It doesn't look like he is running all that fast. Now we got a flag down apparently, as we're going to go back, but he runs from the far side over to the near side in pursuit of 3 guys, and he really was, he turned the corner on them. He showed that kind of speed getting over to the near side. The angle finally ran out on him and he got thrown down, but it really doesn't look like he's running all that fast, but he outran all 3 of those guys.
Yep. But the penalty will nullify that return, and Batavia will now have to start back at their own 37-yard line with 9:19 to go here, third quarter, and Blue Devils now up 30-7. And their first offensive possession now, the second half. Junior quarterback Jesse Reinhardt. The running back will be Anderson, who now shifts over to the right side of the quarterback. Osborne up back now shifts off to the right as well, and they'll run right. Here's Anderson taking the toss to the 40, and Anderson out to midfield and brought down there. It'll be a run of 13 or 14 yards. Anderson shows good speed in turning the corner, and that's a first down run for the Blue Devils. And ball in Newark territory. They'll spot it at the 49-yard line.
I hate to say this in a game that has been marred by penalties, 11 already. I thought Batavia may have gotten away with a hold on the edge on that play. Defensive end maybe just got his shoulder pad grabbed by the near side blocker.
And Anderson going to run straight ahead this time, and he's got good first down yardage. He's got 5, he's got 6, maybe 7 as he keeps the legs moving. Finally brought down by Jacob Sides. Also, I think DePaul was in that stop, but Anderson was, I think, initial contact after 2 or 3 yards. He ends up gaining 7. 2nd and 3 down at the 42.
They list Aiden Anderson at 5'7", 145, and that almost seems generous just from, the eye test from here. But, boy, he ran inside on that play and ran very hard, taking tacklers with him.
Smith now back in at running back as we substitute here. And here's Smith now. Smith shot out of a cannon, and he's down to the 31-yard line. Another first down before DePaul and Hernandez bring him down. But that's another first down run for the Blue Devils. As again, our substitutions brought to you by Northside Deli, back in North Streets, Batavia, the home of Batavia's favorite subs, Northside Deli. First down run to the 32-yard line, and a new set of downs for the Blue Devils there.
And all 5 offensive linemen got into their blocks on that play. There was all sorts of holes for Smith to choose. He just runs hard off the right side, but right now that offensive line is just dominating.
And here's Smith again, running off to the left, going to take this outside to the 30, running wide, 25, 20, 15, and forced out of bounds down around the 13 or 14-yard line. So Smith again gains the edge, running to the wide side of the field, and a gain all the way down to the 13-yard line.
And Therese Smith, very patient, knows his offensive line is doing the job, and they're getting into their blocks. There was a blitz coming up the middle. He was able to get outside of that. And I think it was the left guard over there, must have been McQuethy, stayed with his block. Smith stayed right behind him, got a block from the outside from one of the receivers as well. I think it was Osborne, and picked up a 19-yard gain.
And here's Smith again. Smith through the middle, Smith to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone, standing up for a touchdown. So Smith, a 13-yard run, the 4th score of the game for Therese Smith. And Batavia increases their lead to 36-7.
Again, I love the way Therese Smith allows his blockers to do their job. He doesn't overrun the play. He delays. I think it was Long out there in front of him, just did a great job. Long finishes his man off over at the far sideline on the play. Smith just waits for all that blocking to set up, and then he bursts through the hole for the touchdown.
A high snap from center, and it hits the left upright and is no good. So Havens misses for the first time today. So 36-7 your score, with 7:28 still to go here in the third quarter play. We'll stay here. So a touchdown drive that covered 63 yards, and Smith gets the final 13 for the score.
Well, thoughts for the rest of the way here? From Batavia, you want to find a way to stay healthy. And for Newark, it's a way to try to, get your guys to, remember, for some of these guys, it's going to be their last football game.
Yeah.
The last high school football game for this team. Go out there and play with pride the rest of the way. That drive, there wasn't a lot of that. They really were physically manhandled for the first time in this game by the Batavia front 5. And I'm sure that's what the coach is talking about right now. It's not about score. It's about, playing, with that sense that, you're proud to be a member of this team, and you want to, remember your last, half of football with something. You're not going to, I can't imagine you're going to come out with a victory in this one. So it's going to be all about playing for pride and, playing with a no-quit attitude that football players need to have.
Well, we'll see how it develops. Murray is deep for the kick. He, again, mishandled the one to start the second half. He's standing at about the 13-yard line. Carter Havens has it teed up at the 40. And he indeed will kick it downfield. It'll bounce and toward the far sideline and stays inbounds. Murray picks it up at the 10. And Murray hit at the 12, avoids that would-be tackler. Got to the 15 or 16 and then pushed back as he's gang tackled. Anderson in on that stop, along with some others for the Blue Devils. But Newark, again, will have to start deep in their own territory right around the 15-yard line.
Now, Murray really is an admirable player, isn't he? He had to go a long way to retrieve that ball. He couldn't have kicked it any better in terms of where it ended up dying over on the far side of the field. Murray, though, picks it up, runs back, tries to find it, that blocking lane for himself, and runs back toward the side here, and it took a couple of big-time hits, but he kept going.
HFL a 33-0 lead over Pal Mac in the third quarter there. So Looks like Batavia and HFL on a collision course. We did a game in the 2019 season, Jay, from HFL. The Cougars ended up winning pretty big, if I remember.
Yep.
I believe that was like week 2 of the season or so. Here is Murray, and Murray trying to get loose. He's got 6 yards or so as he fights his way across the 20 to the 21-yard line. So a positive play there for the Reds and Murray as we hit 7 minutes left in the third quarter. It'll be second down, about 3.5 yards to go at the 21-yard line.
And Murray's still banging away here. Give him a lot of credit. He's not quitting, that's for sure. And he's been the guy all game. He's handled almost every snap except for maybe 5 or 6, in that quarterback wildcat position, whatever you want to call it. And he's carried all but 2 plays, and he threw the ball for 2 plays as well.
Well, he's looking for 114 yards, if the math is right. He had 886 coming into this game, so to be an 1,000-yard rusher, he's looking for 114.
Yeah, he's closing in, yep.
And here he comes again, and he's got the first down as he fights his way out across the 25-yard line. So that'll be Newark's first down of the second half. Only their 5th of the game, as they'll get a new set of downs at their own 26-yard line as we have 6:15 left in the third quarter. Batavia in control, 36-7.
And I think it's Trevion Clark now who's out there on the offensive front for Newark, so another different player on that offensive line. Injuries have been a big part of this contest. You lose a 2-way starter on the first series or second series of the game, it thins you out real fast.
Murray will take the direct snap with a 5-receiver set, much like he did throughout the first half. Going to keep it here. And here's Murray, and brought down after a short game. Good job by the Batavia defenders there. I think that was Sava and McQuethy, I believe, that combined to make that stop. So we try to read those dark jerseys out there we've talked about. Gain of a couple of yards on the play. Second down, 8 yards to go out at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like McQuethy came over from his linebacker position, the defensive end on this near side, able to just hold things up. Read it very nicely, made Murray go inside. When he did, he was able to shut his block, get a little hit on him, and McQuethy came and finished things off.
Yeah, Danny Sava does a nice job at that DN spot. He's only 5'8" and 190, but he holds his own out there. Murray going to run off to the right this time, trying to gain the corner, giving up a lot of ground, and now trying to turn the corner, and is run out of bounds across the way near the first down, out around the 35-yard line. We'll see how far upfield he was able to get here. I guess not very far. They're going to put the ball, he was forced out of bounds at around the 30, they're going to say, so not much of a gain there, only a couple of yards. So they got a couple, and that brings up third down about 6.
Alex Hale, he's had a heck of a game, and again, he was out there forcing that play to the outside. Murray's got great speed, but he makes him take that long loop out to the far right side and allows the pursuit to come over and force him out of bounds.
Yeah, Hale playing strong safety spot and getting right up in the box there. He's off on the left side here on this third down play, 3rd and 6. Murray will take the direct snap and run it straight ahead, and they've got him. Only a yard or so gained there.
Murray on the carry, gain of 1.
Trying to see who that was that Murray really had nowhere to go. It might have been McQuethy quickly over there again. The line did a nice job of holding things up. 4th down, about 5 yards to go for the Reds.
And it looks like they're going to punt this time. I think the writing is on the wall here for Newark. And it's just a matter of trying to negotiate your way through the rest of this game. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a disappointing finish for the Reds here. They ran into a team that's playing well, and it didn't help to have a couple of key injuries early in the game as well. They came in with a solid game plan, but it just hasn't been executed.
Here's the kick, and it might have been partially blocked. A couple of Batavia players were right in there. I think Reinhardt was one of them, and Marucci may have been the other. And the kick dribbles out to near midfield, and not much more than that. I don't even think it made midfield, and Batavia is going to take over in Newark territory.
And Marucci's really played a terrific game for Batavia here today. He's been really locked in on Murray throughout the game and able to really contain a terrific back in Murray throughout. Murray's had a couple of big plays for sure, but this Batavia defense really was focused on their keys in this game, and they've done a great job defensively overall.
We just heard from Mike Bromley, the athletic director. Of the scores stay this way. Batavia up here by 29, and HFL's up by 33. Game next Saturday night, 7 o'clock at HFL. And here's McFarland's getting a carry, and not much. I don't think he made it back to the line of scrimmage. Or no, it was Smith. I'm sorry. It was Smith still. My apologies. Not sure why. I'd pretty much have him out of there by now.
Yeah, like we said, what's the goal here, right? Play with pride on one side, play for not getting in. I mean, you can't play football to not get injured, but you can keep certain guys from harm's way by substituting, and one is your back. And, Smith talked about it. He negotiates his way through some tough traffic by really giving up his body.
And he's out there again to run. Reinhardt's going to throw, though, and he's going to throw deep down the field here. Man is open and makes the catch. The 10-5 touchdown. Budzniak wide open down the right sideline. And a touchdown play, a 48-yard touchdown pass, and it's 42-7.
Well, Therese Smith, why is he on the field? Because he picked up the blitz on that play. He was able to stick his shoulder pads into the blitzer coming up the middle, gave Reinhardt just enough time, and Budzniak just does a great job of getting behind the defensive back for the big pass. That's a way to put an exclamation point on the game here for Batavia.
Yeah, there's still 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Now 42-7.
Could be a lot of exclamation points coming.
Yeah. And I'll try and add the extra point here out of the hold of Reinhardt. Just threw a beautiful pass down the field, and the extra point is up, and it is good. So that brings it to 43-7. Batavia, as they score 8:49 into this third quarter, and just keep it rolling here at 43-7.
And we get to just now think about what's going to happen next week between these two teams. We're talking obviously about Batavia and HFL. Should be a lot of fun. I mean, it's an HFL program that, earned its way. They showed that they talk about learning how to get things rolling in this weird spring football season. HFL most certainly has been able to do that as well. They've earned a home game next weekend, and they're going to take on a real good team. Two good teams are going to be battling for this sectional title.
Yeah. They played, and I remember HFL beat them last, but I think Batavia had beaten them the year before in the playoffs, right? Either maybe in the semis in a tough game.
Yep.
Yeah, so they got a little history the last few years. And they'll do it again. I was hoping the game maybe be an afternoon game next week, but it looks like they're saying 7 o'clock. So
Saturday?
Yeah. So
we're going to go from Sunday night football to Saturday night football.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a Sunday night football game before?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Here's the kick, and it hits off one of the return men. That is Knight, way back in his own territory, and then picks the ball up, but he won't get it out to the 20. Gang tackle it around the 17 or 18-yard line with still 3:02 to go in the third quarter. And Batavia all but wrapping this one up. 43-7 now. Again with that 3:02 to go in this quarter.
Just checking my cough switch there, Bob.
All right. A drive start at the 18-yard line. Can we get to the running time now, maybe?
Unfortunately, it'd be nice to see that happen, but I don't think that's going to be the case. There's Newark kids, they've earned the right to keep playing this out here, and they're going to do the best they can. But boy, they just all of a sudden, you can just see the seams falling apart right now after they put up a good fight for a good portion of that first half.
Murray's going to take the direct snap and running off the near side, changes direction, runs up the middle, and he's out for about 9, or maybe more than that. Slid through. I thought he was going to be brought down shy of the first down. Headed upfield for a couple of extra yards, about 11 or 12 in all, out to the 29-yard line. So 11 yards and a Newark Red first down.
Yeah, Murray is going to be a sore young man tomorrow, that's for sure. I got him down for 25 carries on this game.
Is he over the 114 mark yet?
No.
Nope. So that's what, again, he came into the game, we saw in our stats, 886 yards, so obviously 114. 400,000-yard season, which in a 7-week season is pretty impressive. Any season's impressive, but particularly in 7 games. He's going to get the ball here once again on a direct snap and makes one miss at the line of scrimmage. He's got some running room here, 35, 40. He's to midfield. He's to the near sideline. I think he stepped out of bounds and then definitely was forced out of bounds as Reinhardt pushes him out. But they say, yep, stepped out at the 45-yard line. So a big game for Murray. That might do it for him, right?
Yeah, very close. I'll add that up. Nice block, though, the left guard in that play, or left tackle, I should say, Cody Luther. Able to really get into his man on the play, open things up, and Murray runs hard behind it. Nicely done.
So, again, he tapped the sideline at the 45, so that's where they'll put it, mark it there at the 45-yard line. 3 receivers head off to the right side. Murray will take the direct snap. Hernandez, slot back or up back off to the left side here. Murray, no, I don't know if the ball was purposely, now it looks like Batavia ball. They're going to come away with it. Yes, they are. A snap, I don't know if I ever got there. McQuethy comes up with the ball, the middle linebacker for Batavia. I don't know if the snap hit Hernandez.
It was odd. I mean, that sides picked it up and it actually looked like he had secured it initially, but somebody came in and punched it free. And McQuethy comes up with a loose ball. So sides will get the credit for the carry and unfortunately for the fumble lost as well. And just to update on Murray, I've got him for 123 yards tonight.
So Batavia, after the turnover, gets it at their own 46-yard line with 2:08 to go third quarter. And they're in total command here, 43-7. And it looks like now Smith out. I believe that's McFarland's in the run spot here as Osborne shifts off to the left. And here's a toss play to McFarland's, cuts it back inside, makes one man miss, but then is knocked down on another tackle by Dalton Deneau. Or DePaw, that is, Dalton DePaw. I can't even read my thing anymore. It's getting too dark in here. It's a P. DePaw. We called his name a lot, actually.
Yes.
In the first half, yeah. 3 yards for McFarland's, 2nd and 7 at the 49.
And, you want to watch a guy get into collisions on almost every play. I mean, Jaden Osborne, he gets a lick in every play and keeps going right to the very end.
And he's going to get the carry here, gets rewarded with a carry and goes from his 49 to the Newark 49-yard line. So 2 yards on that play. And I'll bring up third and about 4 yards to go.
Keep that clock running. That's what you want if you're Batavia.
Yep.
And then we got another player down for Newark, unfortunately.
Number 6. The 6th stoppage of play for an injury for Newark. None for Batavia, thankfully for them.
Absolutely.
So with 1:11 to go,
looks like
in the third quarter,
64 is down this time.
Tyleek Seaver, right?
350, yeah, the big guy. Yep.
So an injury timeout. Again with 1:11 in the third quarter. And again now up to a seated position, which is good.
Well, credit again to the Batavia offensive front. Osborne really has a lot in that kind of H-back position. They like to use him sometimes as a lead blocker, sometimes as a tight end or as a wing back. But, boy, they've really, as the game has gone on, the offensive line has just become more and more impressive. They playing with a lot of confidence and playing very physical football.
Well, Seaver now up. And we'll walk to the far sideline. And play will resume here. Batavia facing a third down and about 5. The ball at the 49-yard line. 4.5, 5 yards to go here. With still, again, 1:11 in this third quarter. 43-7, Blue Devils lead. Reinhardt going to give to McFarland's. McFarland's running patiently and has the first down. And then a flag comes in late. Hernandez made the stop. So first down for the moment, but I thought I saw, there is a yellow flag sitting at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, looks like a hold downfield. They had that sealed off, and I guess that's why there must have been an illegal block over there on that left side. McFarland's did a good job of coming back this way, staying behind his blockers. You called it, being very patient. You love to see that if you're a coach. He's been obviously following Therese Smith, who's a very patient runner as well. But unfortunately, the play's going to go for nothing here.
And penalty puts the ball back to the 46, Batavia at their own 46. And it'll be third down and about 10 now. And all the Batavia players looking over at the sideline for the call here. They really don't huddle up. They just look right to the sidelines, and you've got three coaches. Look like they're doing calisthenics, but they're actually giving signals to the offense for the play, and it'll be a McFarland's run again, and McFarland's at the 50 and down to about the 46-yard line. A couple yards shy of a first down. Gained 7 or 8 on that play, getting the ball to the Newark side of midfield, but they're about a yard shy of a first down, so I'm sure they'll go for it here, but they've got the quarter to think about it. So the third quarter comes to a close. Batavia increases their lead with a couple of more scores, including a safety, and now we'll take a 43-7 lead into the fourth quarter. We'll take a 60-second timeout as we again check the Drace Realty scoreboard. It reads Batavia 43, Newark 7. Back in 60 seconds on the Varsity Media Sports Network and WBTA.
We want to thank everyone for doing their part in these challenging times.
No matter where we work from, we're still here protecting you and your family's rights.
We want you to know that we will always be here for you and your family.
Using our technology so we can protect you and your family no matter where we are.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Well, we take it to the fourth quarter with the Blue Devils in command here, 43-7, 12 minutes up on the clock, and Batavia with a 4th and 1 at the Newark 45-yard line. And they line up to go for it here. Continue to maybe ball control and take time off the clock. Reinhardt goes under center for perhaps the first time and gives it to Osborne, and Osborne just a simple 2-yard dive, but he's got the first down. The 225-pound senior gets very few carries, but makes them count with a little first down run there to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, I really like his game. He's really brought a lot to this team. I'm not sure if he played that much in the first game when I did the game here, or I don't really recall, but he most certainly has been terrific for Batavia today in a lot of different capacities.
He's in there. He lines up kind of as a fullback or up back. He's right behind the left guard, left tackle here. McFarland's in the run spot. A high snap from center, but Reinhardt brings it in and gives it to McFarland's, and McFarland's ahead for about 6 yards. Working off that left side, fights his way down to the 36-yard line. And it'll be a second down play as Osborne now comes out of the game. I believe taken by Ethan Loaiza now takes his spot out there. On a second down, 4 yards to go. Batavia at the 36-yard line of the Reds.
Looks like still the starting offensive line still out there with Marucci playing tight end on the near side.
Reinhardt now sets his line. Some stunning by the defense. Again, a high snap. McFarland's gets the handoff and then dragged down on a tackle by Dylan Hernandez after a short game, but it might be enough for a first down. He only needed 3 or 4, and I think he does have enough to move the chains and keep the clock rolling as we approach 10:20 to go. And Batavia in total command and looking for a matchup with the undefeated HFL Cougars. They played one less game this year. They had a forfeit. They all got the forfeit against Geneva. Batavia did too, but Batavia made that game up with a kind of an exhibition game, if you will, against Burgard of Buffalo. I guess HFL was unable to do that, so they have played one less game. Here's a first down from the 32 and a toss play to McFollins. And McFollins was going to take it wide, then cut back inside and dances around and gets a couple of yards as he's down just inside the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you one guy who's not ready to quit this game, and that's Dylan Hernandez for Newark. He just keeps coming. Every play he is getting involved in something. That time he blitzed up the middle, got met by a couple of forearms from a center and a guard on the play, but kept pushing forward on the play. Really love to see that kind of effort. That's, it's the type of effort that a senior needs to have, and that's how you get to, this shorter sectional playoff that we have this year, but you're one of the semifinalists, and there's a kid out there playing with a lot of pride right to the very end.
Second down, about 7, and our Batavia moved here. They just brought a bunch of substitutions in. I thought it was more skill players. Really couldn't tell who was coming in, but
I think they wanted to do a little quick count kind of a play, but not everybody was set.
So with 9:02 to go, a penalty. So that marches the ball back to the 34-yard line.
Second and 13 from the 34-yard line.
And second down now, 13 yards to go, as the Blue Devils look to the near sideline for the play call. Looks like they've taken their starting receivers out. Hale is out. Budzniak, who has a couple of touchdowns, is out. And here's McFollins, and he runs into a wall of white after maybe a gain of 1. Norvell's there.
They'll lose a yard on the play.
Also in the interior of that defense. Let's see who else that was.
Clark was in there.
Yeah, Clark, I believe it was. Yep, Clark in there. So a third down now, 13 at the 35-yard line.
This is a nice opportunity for McFollins to play against some good competition here. He runs kind of high, but he's done a good job of securing the ball so far.
And he remains in the run spot here to the left of the quarterback. Gets the toss play here. A little juke move there, trying to gain the sideline, and is run out of bounds here at the near sideline. Well shy of a first down. Taken out around the 28-yard line. Hernandez, as Jay mentioned, is hustling out there over there in on the stop. Also DePaul. And that'll stop the clock with 7:50 to go as he's run out of bounds. And Batavia will have fourth down and about 7.
Good job by McFollins, though, to freeze that defensive end. He's up in the backfield. Looks like he has it sealed inside. He makes a little move, freezes him, and then shows some good speed getting to the outside and takes a good hit at the end of the play.
So 4th and 7. Let's see if Batavia can keep the drive alive here. Reinhardt going to give it to McFollins one more time, and he'll go nowhere. There's Hernandez, has him down low. And Norvell up high. He's in on the stop.
No gain on the play, and Newark will take over on downs.
Newark will take over on downs at about the 30-yard line.
That's what you want for Batavia. Get the receivers out, get your starting running back off the field as well, and run up some clock. 7:43 remaining here, and hopefully you can go the rest of the game injury-free, like you said. We've had 6 stoppages for injuries over on the Newark side of things, and so far, so good for Batavia. So I've seen a couple of guys get dinged up. I think they kind of would take maybe Smith out if he took a big hit at the end of the play. Maybe more the coaching staff's option than the player's option.
Well, Mallett is going to quarterback, right? Murray just runs out on the field very late here, settles into position at that tailback spot. And, right in the game, and he'll get the call here as he started wide, then cuts back inside and will go nowhere. He's met at the line of scrimmage, pushed back as no gain as he did get forward progress to the 30, which was the line of scrimmage, and push back, so no gain. Second down, 10 yards to go at the 30-yard line.
What did Murray need again?
114.
Okay, so he does have it. He's got the 1,000 yards according to my unofficial stats.
Right. So a second down, Batavia now getting some more different personnel. Reinhardt looks like now leaves the game at the free safety spot. Again, all our substitutions brought to you by Northside Deli, home of Batavia's favorite subs at North and Bank Streets in Batavia, Northside Deli. Mallett will go under center again with Murray in the run spot here. And he'll get the call on a toss play to the far side of the field. He's to the 30, 35, good speed to the 40, and knocked out of bounds across the way, a little shy of midfield. But that'll be a first down run for Murray and the Reds out to the 47-yard line, 17 yards for the senior running back.
Maybe a couple of subs out there for Batavia's defense. And so the pursuit angle is a little different. Boy, when it comes to Murray, you really have to be aware at all times up there that he's shown a great ability to turn up the speed, get to the outside, and break tackles. But unfortunately for him, he's been keyed on, and this Batavia defense came really prepared to bottle him up today, and they've done a great job, obviously.
Batavia gets now Caden Marucci, who's played so well defensively. He's out of the game now. And here's Mallett giving to Murray. Murray being patient, looking for a hole on the far side, and out to midfield before he's corralled. About 3 yards on that play as we hit the midway point of this fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go. And Newark, a 3-yard run there for Murray. Second down 7 right at the midfield stripe.
It'll be 2nd and 7 for Newark.
You have now another Batavia player coming out. I think that is what Abel Hammer looks like. He's come to the sidelines, finished the game. So see if we can pick up some of the players that have replaced them. But again, just kind of tough, Jay, to get those numbers, right? Mallett under center here on a 2nd and 7. Toss play to Murray to the wide side of the field. Murray cuts it inside, hit nicely there. Good job coming up and turning that play in. Trying to see who that was.
Devontae Murray on the carry.
I can't quite tell.
2 yards.
Turn around, young fellow.
Ball marked at the 48. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Gain of a couple of yards there. So you got it to, what, the 48 or 49-yard line.
And what, an official timeout here? What are we doing? Well, whatever the case may be. Unfortunately for Murray, he didn't get a lot of help from his friends out to the near side here. The receiver just did not get engaged with his block, and that was the man who got the initial hit. Again, we don't necessarily can identify who it was, but whatever the case, the battle was won by the defender over the blocker.
I've strongly suggested Batavia go back to their royal blues with big white numbers next year and white pants with the blue stripes down the side, right?
Absolutely.
Here's Mallett giving to Murray, and Murray started inside, bounces it off to the left, and hit right to line of scrimmage and dropped. Good pursuit there as Batavia doesn't let him get wide.
No gain on the play.
And no gain there.
4th and 6.
And that'll bring up 4th down.
And Murray keeps battling on, and so does the Batavia defense here. Staying at home, very disciplined approach throughout the game for the Blue Devils defense. And with that, they've been able to keep a top-flight runner generally in check. And he's going to finish with over probably about 130 yards, and he had the long touchdown run. But,
for the most part,
able to keep him down to 7 points after what he had 6 touchdowns last week, did you say? Yeah, that's a pretty good defensive performance.
So taking a lot of time in the huddle here, with clock down to 3:40, and they finally now hit the line of scrimmage on this 4th and 6 play at Batavia's 49. And Mallett under center. And going to run the toss play to Murray. He's going to throw it, and he pitches it down the field. Man is open and makes the catch. That is Shepard, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. So the halfback option, and Murray with a nice touch there as he throws a 49-yard touchdown pass to Jaden Shepard, and it's 43-13.
Well done by Newark. Unfortunately, it comes so far late in the game, but they really sold that play off to the near side. It looked like it was going to be a sweep to the near side for Murray. He gets behind his block and then just takes a couple of steps to the near side and allows Shepard to get behind the defensive back for the halfback option touchdown.
And they'll kick the extra point here. And Shepard does that out of the hold of Hernandez, the late player out arriving on the offensive line for the Reds. And the kick, nope, will not quite get there. Might have been partially blocked, so the extra point no good. 43-13, your score, Batavia. We'll take a 60-second timeout on WBTA.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Well, 3:19 to go in this one. And Batavia with a 43-13 lead. Just try to kill the rest of this time off and get set for a championship game next Saturday night at HFL. Again, they were in command over Palmac 33-0 last score we heard. So, again, the game scheduled for Saturday night. Is that Smith back there, though, to return this?
It is, yep.
Yeah. Shepard, who just scored the touchdown and added the extra point, will kick off. They're expecting maybe even an onside kick here. It looks like Batavia with 9 players up between the 43-yard line and midfield. But nope, he boots it deep, and Smith gets his hands on it at the 15-yard line. And now reverses field at the 20. Running to the wide side, 25, and look out, here's Smith through the middle to the 40, to the 50, and a foot race to the near sideline. Here's Smith, one man to beat, to the 20, to the 10, and into the end zone for the touchdown. 85 yards for Therese Smith.
What a spectacular return by Smith, and Caden Marucci with a great block to free him to the outside. He timed it out perfectly, got the guy blindsided him basically, and just plastered him to the field. And once that man was out of the play, it was off to the races again for Smith. And touchdown, no wonder, 21 on the season for Therese Smith. What a memorable play that was, huh? But, you know, I mean, Batavia, what they're playing for the onside kick, so they bring everybody up. You want your most experienced man in the back to, who's not going to get killed on the play. Well, he didn't get killed and ended up just adding a little more salt to the wound here for Newark.
And Brian ran again. He had to go all the way over to his right to pick up that ball, and now flag down on the extra point attempt. So 3 minutes remaining, and now a 49-13 score. And Batavia hit with a penalty here, so to make the extra point a little bit harder, perhaps.
It might be the biggest critique of the Batavia performance is 9 penalties tonight.
So Havens will have to try a 25-yard extra point now out of the hold of Reinhardt.
That's got to be offsides. No call.
And the kick is no good. Another flag. As the kicker, Havens, was run into. Perhaps that could be the flag.
And they're heading off the field, so
So
kick failed.
So kick failed. So 49-13. I'll tell you what, Jeff, we'll run our final 2 commercials and run those out, and then we'll roll right into the post-game show. So a final timeout, 49-13 Batavia, 3 minutes left on WBTA.
For the Section 5 Class B final game, scheduled for next Saturday, May 1st, with a game start time of 7 p.m. at Honey Falls, Lima. A penalty flag against Newark on the extra point attempt will move the kickoff to the...
Well, right, a roughing the kicker penalty on the extra point, so Batavia will kick off from the 45-yard line. That's where Havens has it teed up. And here's his kick, and he squibs it and bounces into the hands of, let's see who the return man is here, trying to get himself upfield. And out to about the 20-yard line or so. I think that was Knight on the return, and the Reds will put it in play there about their own 20-yard line or so, as we just try and run this one out down to 2:51 left.
Murray standing at 146 yards on the day.
It'll be a drive start at the 19-yard line, it looks like, for Newark. And Batavia, I'm sure all kinds of substitutions defensively here. Murray stays in the game, though. Mallet, quarterback. Murray standing behind him at that tailback spot on a first down from the 19-yard line. And it is Murray off the left side and pulled down after a short gain.
Murray on the carry.
Got
about 3 or so, and Murray might have been shaken up on that
play. He got folded
play.
back really bad on that play.
Gain of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 from the 23.
And number 7. It's a tough day for Newark, boy.
Yep.
And this time it's Murray, their guy. And you're right, it looked like he was hit low and hit high and then kind of pulled back, and his legs really were kind of stuck in the turf there. So,
yep.
But he does bounce out. That's good to see. And they're kind of shaking off that right leg a little bit. So he gain of about 4 on the play. And Murray will have to head to the sideline for at least this one play.
Might be best to say that might be your last run of your career. I mean, obviously he's the kind of kid that probably wants to get back onto the field and keep going, keep battling to the end. But sometimes it's time to step in and just say,
yeah,
you know, you've had a great career and a spectacular year.
And this is that time.
I'm not going to. I guess I was strongly insinuating that. Yes.
Malin under center. They're going to run the ball here to Hernandez on a toss play, and Hernandez trying to get to the far side and out close to the 30-yard line. He's brought down there. Let's see, probably close to a first down. We'll see where they mark it. Might be a yard shy or so.
8 yards.
Nope, they're going to signal first down. Looks like he had enough for the first down. So first down for the Reds out at the 29-yard line as we hit to the last 90 seconds of this one.
Murray comes back out into the field here.
Does he? Oh,
yep.
Geez. So he might get another carry or 2 here.
Well, one thing about him, that carry could be another touchdown for him as well. He most certainly has that kind of skill.
Well, he's in the run spot here. Malik goes under center on a first down from the 29-yard line, and he's going to get the toss play to the open side of the field. And he looks to throw a touchdown pass earlier, and his pass this time for Mallet is caught as the quarterback rolled off on the left side. And how about Murray with a second completion here? And it'll be another first down, again out to about the 42-yard line.
And I think after throwing the flag on 20 times in this game between both teams, I think the officials are starting to tuck it away because the near side receiver was not in a set position when that ball was snapped.
Okay. Yeah, this could be the final play of the game depending on play selection. If it's a run play, it could be 34, 33 as the Reds hit the line of scrimmage here. Mallet goes shotgun. Murray standing to his left from the 42-yard line. Now they're going to throw, though. Mallet throws the ball over the middle. It is caught by Murray at the 45 to the 50. Here's Murray now trying to get to the far sideline. A foot race down the far side. Flag is down, and Murray does take it into the end zone. However, I think this one coming back.
Yep. 2 flags. One at the line of scrimmage, one at midfield.
So Murray showing his explosiveness, caught the pass. Yeah, there was a bunch of players right at midfield when he caught that one.
It could have been on legal man
Right, that's
downfield
what I
on
was
the
kind of
middle
getting
screen.
at.
Yeah.
Oh, a nifty run after the catch as he broke a tackler too, and then
he's terrific.
Yep,
Yeah,
hit to the far sideline and then just outraced everyone down the far sideline. But all for naught. With 9.9 seconds left, it will be nullified. So the officials do get one final flag in there, Jay.
Yeah. We had an interesting one earlier in the game, if you didn't weren't with us, where an official from a long distance called a legal man downfield and then negated a Batavia touchdown. Batavia ended up scoring on that drive anyway and building up into this lead. But there's been a couple of odd calls. Yeah, legal man downfield is one of the calls, and I thought I saw a chop block for the other one.
So they'll put the ball down at the 44-yard line. And with 9.9 seconds to go, let's hope that this is the final play of the game.
Yep. Yeah.
And Batavia and HFL next week. 49-13, your score here. As Batavia again putting up big offensive numbers. They've hit some big scores this year. And things taking a while here for now. They're going to wind the clock. They might not even get a play off here, as the official now is going to wind the clock.
And that's it.
And they do not get the playoff as the game ends, and that's it. Batavia wins it impressively, 49-13, your final score, as they continue their unbeaten ride now at 7-0 with a tough HFL squad on tap for a championship game next weekend.
We want to thank everyone for doing their part in these challenging times.
No matter where we work from, we're still here protecting you and your family's rights.
We want you to know that we will always be here for you and your family.
Using our technology so we can protect you and your family no matter where we are.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.